are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
Hey, Don on the beat.
I got so many ups.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ups.
so many ups.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ups.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to our Friday show. As you can see, it is just me here. At the very last minute, we had some things come up, or Soonie and Jerron had some things come up, and they are not going to be able to join me tonight. So it is a Mo takeover. I am going to be doing a show because I did not want to leave you guys hanging, and I do have some topics to talk about tonight. So it may not be like the full 2.5 hour show that you guys are usually getting, but I'm going to do my very best to keep you entertained this entire time all by myself. Before we get started with the show and me going over the topics, please make sure that you guys are definitely subscribed to Somewhere in the Middle YouTube channel. It helps us a great deal. If you're watching from any one of the other platforms, whether it be on Facebook or my personal YouTube channel on Let's Talk Darling, just make sure at some point, if you enjoy what you're watching, you like the show, that you give this video a like, that you subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle, and that you also subscribe to the, make sure that you are subscribed to the other platforms that you're watching. Also, I want to stress how important it is to stay active in the comments. We greatly rely on activity in the comments because it's what gets our channel over the hump of the algorithm on YouTube. So the more you guys are chit-chatting in the comments and interacting with me, especially today, since I don't have a host, you guys are going to be my co-host today. So that helps us, and that helps the video get seen and shared out a whole lot more. So to start that off, definitely give me a what's up in the chat. I already see Rose saying hello. Hello, Rose. Just say what's up in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. If you guys have any questions or topics that you would like me to bring up at some point during the show, go ahead and drop that in the comments, because I am happy to discuss whatever you guys want. This is kind of a free-for-all. You guys know that I pretty much will talk about anything, and I like to have fun, okay? So there's no rules today. There is no rules. What's up, Carly? How are you doing? What's up, Mary? Mary from Maryland. Last week we saw a lot of new names and new people that we haven't seen in here before. So I'm excited to see more people today. So yeah. We'll get started on today's show. Also, I wanted to let you know, if you do want to support the show, as always, we really, really appreciate that you do that. However, the Somewhere in the Middle YouTube channel is not monetized yet. So you have to go over to the Let's Talk Darling channel on YouTube. That's my channel. And you can certainly super chat us from there and give a donation. And we appreciate that. So not necessary, but always appreciated. All right, cool. So let me tell you guys what we're going to be talking about today. I have some fun topics. I have some serious topics. I even have some sports related topics. Yes, I am going to be on here talking about sports all by myself. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Actually, I'm going to be covering a story that I covered a great deal early. What was it? 2000. I believe this happened in 2022, maybe 2023. But I have some great news on the Matt Aroyo case and his situation. If you guys don't know who Matt Aroyo is, I'm going to tell you who he is, and I'm going to tell you what. See, Birdman said, talking about Matt joining my Chiefs. He gave you a little bit of a spoiler. So we have some good news in that case. I also found an interview that Matt did, and he sheds quite a bit of information on this case, because up until now, we haven't really heard from Matt. And I was really, really happy to find this, because I really wanted to see what he was saying about all this. So we'll give an update about that. Then I am going to touch on this shooting that happened in Houston. I know those of you that don't worry, Rose, we got topics for you too. We got topics. And if you want me to cover anything, Rose, I got you. Don't worry about it. We're going to be talking about this shooting that happened in Houston. I know if you follow Soonie, she did a live on this yesterday. I am just now learning about it. So we're going to cover it, kind of exploring this together. So if you guys haven't heard about this shooting, you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to fill you in. We have a body-worn camera video that we're going to show. I also have a statement from the family and their attorney that I'm going to show. And obviously I'll read a little bit about it so you guys can kind of get caught up to date on that. The second, really quick, because you guys know I don't talk sports, but I'm trying to be, a little bit more brave when it comes to delving into the world of sports. And I put my own spin on it. We try to make it fun, because those of us that just find sports a little boring and whatever, that's me. You know what I mean? But for those of you guys that don't know, I'm from Chicago, and I saw this headline that the Bears have a new addition to their team. I thought it was a very interesting addition, so we'll talk about that. We are also going to talk about a comment that was made about the Trump sneakers on Fox News, and I'm going to show a clip, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Not too much, because we already covered it last week. Then I have a stat that I saw that I thought was very, very interesting. That states half of all women have a fallback partner or a standby or a plan B person, just in case their relationship doesn't pan out, their current relationship doesn't pan out. So I wanted to talk about that, give my thoughts on that. I think you guys might be a little bit surprised, because I think typically I probably lean a little bit more traditional on my opinions when it comes to relationships. But I saw this and I was like, that's kind of interesting. So I thought I'd talk about it. And there is an update on Wendy Williams. You guys know I'm a huge Wendy Williams fan. I love Wendy Williams. It breaks my heart to see what she is going through and with her health and all this other stuff. And I saw a headline that gave kind of an update. I'm also going to be watching the Lifetime show or movie that they're putting out with her. It's like a documentary style thing where she's going to be appearing, and she just looks terrible, terrible, terrible. So we will definitely talk about that once I see that show. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I ask you guys, because I just see a couple people being chitty chatty on here in the comments, that you guys get a little bit more chitty chatty in the comments. I don't care what you say. I don't care what it is. Just throw your comment in there and help out our algorithm. Rose says you can talk about my man Trump. We're going to talk about him a little bit. We'll talk about it. Oh, I will also be talking about the Fani Willis thing. So we're going to talk about Trump twice. We're going to talk about Trump sneakers and the Fani Willis trial, I guess, so to speak, or trial to see if they're going to dismiss the Trump trial in Fulton County, because there's been some interesting evidence submitted from the Trump team on that situation. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay. So let's see. What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Matt Aroyo. Did I already pull up an article on? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. So for those of you guys that don't know who Matt Aroyo is, he is a punter that got signed by the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if he ever really played in a game. But just as quick as he was signed, he was actually removed from the team because of a accusation that was made against him. Now, Matt Aroyo is 23 years old. He played college at San Diego State, college football, and was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, as I said, in the 2022 NFL draft. So it was 2022. but never played an NFL game. There you go. The Bills released Ariza in the summer of 2022, shortly after he was named in a rape lawsuit. The San Diego District Attorney Office announced in December 2022 that criminal charges would not be filed in the case. Okay. Now, if you don't know what the case is, I'm going to give you a very quick, brief summary. Okay. So apparently, Matt was at a party on the San Diego State. I don't know if it was actually on the campus. I think it was at a house, a fraternity house, or a house near the campus. If you've ever been to San Diego State, there are lots of like student housing and the fraternities and sororities that have houses around there as well. And I myself partied quite a bit at those houses, so I'm very familiar what it looks like. But Matt was at a party, and a woman who he met at the party accused him and two other young men who also played football for San Diego State of essentially gang raping her. And she describes a very detailed recollection. Well, I wouldn't say very detailed. It's very detailed for somebody who was as intoxicated as she was. Okay. When this story first came out, I immediately found it very suspect. When I read the police report, it just lacked a whole lot of information. There was some information that stated that, they started making out at the party and that many people saw them together. And then he and the other two gentlemen took her into a bedroom and proceeded to rape her. And she did go to the police, I think the next day, but then she realized she left her cell phone at the house and then went back to the house, which is really, really odd. That's what really, really clued me in, was that she went back to the place that she was raped, which you would think would be very traumatic, right? Like, you wouldn't want to go back to the place that you were raped and you were like, hey, I forgot my cell phone. Can I have it back? But she did. And that was very, very odd. Yes. And she also lied about her age to everybody at the party, saying she was 18, but she was really 17. Now, if you guys follow my YouTube channel, what's up, Amy? If you guys follow my YouTube channel, I did several very detailed videos on this case. I just go ahead and search on YouTube, Matt Aroyo, Let's Talk Darling, and my videos will pop up. I'm actually going to show a clip from one of my videos that actually went quite viral when I put this clip up, because somebody from San Diego State reached out to me personally and said to me, I was at that party and I know for a fact he did not do this. And I know him personally. And I can tell you, this is not within Matt's character. So this person wanted to remain quite anonymous. They sent me an email, and attached to the email was a clip from an Instagram channel that was like one of these Instagram channels of guys. What's up, Amy? What's up, Christine? Of these guys that go to parties and they do these like interviews with girls. I don't know, like they're like street interviews where they basically go and interview girls that are drunk and ask them questions. Okay. So in the video, Matt Aroyo's accuser appears in that video, and she says some very questionable things, which just further enforced my opinions about the entire situation. Okay. Now, I don't know if that video was used in the evidence that eventually exonerated him, but I will tell you that ultimately the case was thrown out. Matt did not settle at all with this girl in court, but the case was basically thrown out because she did not have any evidence to support her claims. Okay. Now, the reason why I really feel it's important to talk about these topics is because while the overall percentage that is statistically reported of how many rape cases are actually unfounded, seems very, very low. I have the numbers. I can pull them up later, but it's something like, let's just say, out of 2,400 rapes that are reported every year, about 130 to 200 of them are found to be not, provable, or there's no evidence in court to prove it, right? And that may seem like a really low number, but in my mind, one is too many, because the amount of damage that accusing somebody of such an egregious act does to their personal life, and not just their personal life, but their family's personal life, their career. This young man lost his ability to play football. He lost his opportunity with a professional team. He probably lost any endorsements that he had. I know his mother had to resign from her job. She worked in the school district. It has a domino effect, and I think it's very, very serious. And while it's important to talk to your daughters about being careful about the situations that they put themselves in, it's also important for young men to get that same discussion. And Matt goes into this in the interview, but it's important for men to also be talked to, and young men to be talked to by their parents and by their coaches, right? If they're in sports, to not put yourself in a situation where this can happen. Okay. Be very, very careful. I'll tell you guys a personal story that I recently experienced. You guys heard, like last week, a week ago, I was called for jury duty. Okay. And I was waiting to go into the court and was sitting out kind of like in the main area. And in this particular area, there were tables where attorneys would come out with their clients, or like, they would basically powwow before they had to go into court. And so, me being me, I was listening to a lot of conversations, and there was a lawyer that came out, excuse me, with a young woman who was going to be a witness to her friend who was accusing a young man of raping her, of sexually assaulting her, I would say. And I could hear the lawyer say to this girl, I don't normally bring witnesses out to talk to them, but you're wanting to change your story. Is that correct? So then my little nosy ears perked up, and I started to listen. And the girl started to explain to the attorney that although her friend that was accusing this young man had asked her to be a witness in her trial or in the case, the girl felt extremely uncomfortable once she got in the courtroom and the judge swore her in, and she understood the gravity of what it would mean if she was not telling the truth, right? She said to the attorney, I don't want to be her witness because I was there, and I personally do not believe that this guy forced her into anything. It was actually quite the opposite. She was being quite forward with him, and it was in her opinion that the young woman became offended or upset when this young man started to reject her advances. Okay. So when I think about that, and I think about the statistic that I just told you, that 130 to 200 of 2,400 reported sexual assault cases actually have no evidence, I find that statistic unbelievable, because what are the chances that out of such a small percentage of situations that ultimately may not be that would be unfounded, that I just happen to hear one of them? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm willing to bet that just like the rape statistic of what's reported is probably not as accurate, because there's a lot of shame in those situations, that I'm willing to bet all the statistics are probably not that accurate in regards to that particular category, right? Anyways, sorry to be long-winded, but I wanted to explain all that so you guys kind of know. So the good news is he was exonerated. The case is no longer going to go to court or to trial. But Matt has been fully vindicated in my eyes because he has just been signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, on a funny note, I think this kind of proves that Taylor Swift doesn't have control of the Kansas City Chiefs, because if she did, I highly doubt, okay, she would have been okay with bringing somebody on that was even accused of rape, because she's part of the Believe All Women crew, right? If she had any say in it, I highly doubt he would have been signed to the team. But, the Chiefs, I think, are headline hungry. And I think Matt's story is quite remarkable. And I think that they would probably love the publicity that it's going to bring. The first day that Matt has to come out, or he's brought out onto the field to kick a ball, they're probably going to love the publicity, right? They're going to look kind of like heroes. They gave him his second chance. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty incredible. So the article that I'm going to read to you is from ESPN, and it states the Chiefs signed punter Matt Aroyo, who was dismissed in December from a lawsuit alleging the rape of a 17-year-old girl in 2021. I think it's funny that they're still referring to her as a 17-year-old girl when she was 18. So it says, we are grateful to Brett Veach, Coach Reed, and the Chiefs organization for giving Matt the opportunity. His agent, Joe Linta, wrote on Twitter, or X. Tommy Townsend, the Chiefs punter in each of the past 4 seasons, is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent next month. Townsend was first team All-Pro and selected for Pro Bowl in 2022. Who knows what that means? We're not here for that. The girl identified in the lawsuit as Jane Doe, I dropped her actual name in my video, dropped Ariza from the lawsuit, filed in August 2022, and Ariza agreed to dismiss a defamation suit against Doe, which was filed in July of 2023. I'm so proud and honored to sign a contract with the Chiefs, Ariza said in a statement released through his agent. I'm thrilled to be able to continue my NFL career. I want to thank my family, who have been my rock, and my many friends who have been unwavering in their support. I'm excited to begin the next phase of my career with the Super Bowl champs. Ariza, 23, played in college at San Diego State. I already read all this, so you guys don't need to know, but I do want to show you a video. Okay, so I'm going to show you a video, which is an interview, and we'll pause it along the way because I want to talk about this with you guys. And I apologize if my video is lagging, but let me just share really quick. And you guys, I'm going to try to post your comments as quick as I can. Just understand I'm literally a one-man show at the moment. So I'm talking and doing video, and I want to post your comments, but forgive me if I don't catch them soon enough. All right, so here we go.
Thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So take me back to this party in October of 2021. What happened?
Mm-hmm. It was a celebration. We were, I believe, 6-0 at the time, undefeated, just beat San Jose State on a Friday night. Flew back Saturday morning, and it was just supposed to be a get-together that was celebrating us. And it turned out to be something that kind of tarnished a lot of our names and kind of the Aztec football name.
And so how have the last year and a half been for you emotionally?
It's been a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs. It was great to be drafted, great to have that great season. And then being falsely accused of something so horrible was a turn in the wrong direction for sure.
And going back to that party, how did you meet this girl who later ended up being an accuser?
Mm-hmm. She came up to me when I was speaking with one of my teammates, and she just kind of butted into our conversation and introduced herself and was just being very forward, I guess you could say.
So when I show you guys the clip that I have of this girl, what he's saying is going to make a lot of sense, because you guys, your jaw is going to drop when you hear how this girl behaves and speaks.
When these allegations came out, what went through your head? What was your initial reaction?
Shock at how different the story in the lawsuit was versus what really happened. I was just completely stunned.
So if she could be sitting here right next to me and you could talk to her, what would you tell her?
She knows that what's in that lawsuit is not the truth, and that her lies have caused a lot of damage, and that it's time to move forward with both of our lives.
And talk to me about the damage that you say this has caused.
Emotional, career-wise, my name will never be the same. My family have gone death threats, threats of rape and violence against the women in my family. So it was a dark time at first, for sure. But I'm grateful that all this evidence has come out.
I want to speak on that. First of all, that's terrible. It's terrible that you're somebody that goes to comment on a case where this young man is accused of sexual assault and rape, okay? And your response is to say your family members, the women in your family, I hope they get raped. What's even crazier is when I was posting about this, and it's funny because I can't find this person anymore. They're a troll. They clearly deleted their account. But when I was posting about this stuff, I cannot tell you, just because I was being objective and I was questioning some of the things I was seeing, okay, I cannot tell you how many messages I got. I hope you die. I hope somebody rapes your daughter. I hope you get assaulted. I hope you suffer. Like, help me understand where the logic is. Now, I understand that these people are trolls and their job is to do this because they live a miserable existence. And yeah, enough said there. But it is disgusting to me that in situations like this, and really any situation, we're going to talk about a shooting in a little bit, for instance, right? That we've gotten so accustomed to holding court, right, in the public square, that we have gotten so accustomed to assuming that because a woman says something against a man, that we have to automatically believe it. We have to automatically hate him. We have to automatically threaten him. We do not allow justice and the investigation to take place. Now, I understand not all things are brought to justice in the correct way or even the way we would like them to be. But if there's one thing that I really did, that got pounded into me when I was doing jury duty, because the case that I was on was a terrible case. It was a case of an older man who was accused of sexually molesting a 3-year-old girl. Okay. Now the mother and me, disgusted with it, I wanted to scratch his eyeballs out and hang him by his toenails right then and there. Okay. But as the judge explained to us, even though it made me sick to my stomach, she kept reminding us that just because he's accused doesn't mean he's guilty, that our job as jurors is to judge this man based on the evidence presented by the people who go up on the witness stand, by what the attorneys provide, not by what we read in the newspaper, not by what we think, not by our personal experiences, but by the facts. That's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. But I think that we need to remind ourselves of that, because you can ruin a lot of people's lives. You know what I mean? Birdman says, welcome to America where you're guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, it's true.
Out, and that the investigation was thorough, and that it just completely shatters the story that was originally told.
So when the district attorney's office came out and said, we are not going to be filing charges, how did you find out? Did they tell you?
I saw it. My mom saw it on Twitter, and at first I didn't believe her. Then I had to look myself and saw a couple verified pages reporting on it. And then I got a call from Carrie Armstrong my criminal attorney, and that's when I believed it fully.
It's wild that Twitter found out about it before he did, and he's named as the accuser. Like that's the world we're living in. That Twitter got the news before he did. What does that tell you?
And how did you feel at that moment?
I saw it coming. I knew the evidence. I knew what the evidence suggested, and that it would make it completely impossible to file charges. But actually hearing it was great, and it was definitely a step in the right direction.
If you could go back to that night in October of 2021, would you do anything different?
Yeah, I would stay home, watch TV. Yeah, pretty much anything to avoid that party.
You kind of mentioned this has been tough on your family too. How have they been through this entire process? Hurt.
The family name has been tarnished off of a lie, and that's not something that's fun to go through. My mom has a prominent name in the community as a decorated teacher, and so it was not easy for her. She had to take time off of work, and she has a great community as she has returned, and she has a lot of support, but it was brutal and completely undeserved.
You kind of seem that maybe, I don't know if you've turned a corner, or after the DA announced that there were no charges, we saw you at a hearing a couple weeks ago. You're doing this interview now. What have you kind of been holding on to throughout this whole process?
I've just been waiting for the facts and evidence to tell the true story of the.
What a concept. We all need to learn from Matt. I want to take my hat off to this young man and to his parents, because I think that they raised a very wise young man. I think that situations of adversity are when your character is really tested. And I think that his character, based on this situation, has proven to be super strong. And, I couldn't agree more with what he's saying, that he knew all along he was innocent. His parents knew all along he was innocent. And they kept continuously saying, because his parents were the only ones doing interviews, wait for the evidence and facts to come out. And he stayed very silent, and he allowed that to do the speaking for him. And it paid off in the long run.
The night, and now they have. There's no question. You can't argue with the facts and evidence that the DA has spoken about and that the police were able to find.
So kind of a similar question, but why are you choosing now to speak out?
Because now people don't just have to believe me at my word. There's a mountain of evidence behind what I'm saying that supports my innocence.
If you could say a message to the community who, we know, when these allegations came out, social media was a brutal place for a lot of people in this entire situation. If you could send a message to those people that maybe didn't believe or didn't agree with what you were saying at the time, what would you say to them now?
There's a reason in the court of law people are innocent until proven guilty. It does not make sense to have someone who's accused of a crime have to instantly be able to prove their innocence. That doesn't make sense. An investigation takes time. Building evidence takes time. So to instantly judge someone as guilty until they prove themselves innocent is not what we should be doing as a society. That's completely wrong.
And so now there's a civil case underway. Tell me how that's been going for you.
It's been a slow process. It's a rare thing for someone's life to be basically held hostage by a civil lawsuit. For most people, they can continue going to their job, they can continue with their day-to-day life. But for me, that hasn't been the case. I have basically been at home, unemployed, unable to find work. It's just completely put my life on hold, and the process is incredibly slow. So that has been frustrating.
There's been talk about potential settlements. Is that something that you've been interested in?
I would consider a settlement that had $0 signs attached to it. I'm not willing to pay at this point
I love it.
Pay money to someone who damaged me and lied about me and caused a lot of harm to me and my family. I'm not willing to do that. So I would be willing to end this and waive my right to sue her and counter-sue her and allow us both to move on with our lives, but I will never waive the right to sue Gillian.
So Gillian is her attorney. He's going to explain that a little bit. But I was like, wow, that's really big of him. Because when I heard that this case was going to be thrown out, after seeing how this girl's character was, and I'm going to be showing that video to you guys in just a second, I thought that was very big of him. I also at the same time understand that he wants to get on with his life. He's glad that the facts came out in his favor. And it's not about him ruining this young woman's life. I think she's doing a fine job of that herself. But I do love that he's going to go after her attorney, because I think that that's the proper way to handle it, because those are the people that function in our justice system. And until they're held accountable for bringing these egregious, claims against people who are falsely accused, there should be consequences for that. Okay. I also think there should be consequences for women who falsely accuse men of such things. She should have to make a public statement apologizing to him. She should pay him. I mean, I'm assuming she's going to pay all of the legal costs, because I don't know how that works. But I hate that there is not any consequences for the person who is making a huge accusation against somebody like this, and they just get to walk away in silence. I think it's completely wrong. And this is not the only case, you guys. When I was researching, this case, I cannot tell you, and I'm gonna actually go through some of these so you guys can understand the situations. I'm gonna go through some of these cases. I could not believe how many there were, and you never ever hear about it. Okay, The View and Fox and ABC News and CNN and MSNBC and ESPN and all the celebrities and all the people, they were all weigh in when somebody, a prominent figure, is accused of something wrongly, right? But when the evidence shows different, they never circle back and say, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong in this. And I think that should change.
Why is that?
He's lied a lot. And early on, he said that the civil court was meant as a public spectacle to teach people right and wrong. And I think that's one of the few things he's been right about. And that's what my counter lawsuit will do. It will teach other attorneys what you can and can't do, and that what he did is wrong.
So are there plans to countersue him? Absolutely.
Yes, I've already hired an attorney on that end.
Do you know when that would be filed or anything further?
That has to wait for this lawsuit to be over.
Okay. What's next for you?
I'm waiting on a call.
Keep in mind, this interview was about 9 months ago. So this is well before he was signed for the Chiefs. But clearly 9 months ago, he was already in talks with some teams, which is great.
Any moment. My agent's been talking to a couple NFL teams, and you don't get much of a warning when you get a tryout. So you have to stay ready. I guess keep the bags packed and just be ready to go out and perform at any moment.
Are you ready?
I am, yeah. I've been doing really well recently. I'm in great shape. I feel strong. I feel like I'm ready to get my life back, get my career back.
Your attorneys mentioned that you're still in training every day. Talk to me about that process, still being in training, but not on a college team, not on an NFL team. It's been interesting. It's been interesting growing up as a kid, having the goal of being a professional athlete. You have this mindset that as long as I am good enough, I can live that life and have that life. And that has kind of changed recently, that my talent had nothing to do with me being cut. And so it was an interesting dynamic. But I've been able to kind of put that aside when it's time to train and time to get better and focus on what I do.
What do you guys think? I want you guys to answer this in the comments, especially those of you guys that are sports people. My friend P, who he was in the professional sports world, he says the NFL will never come out and say anything about this case or acknowledge that they were wrong, because he quote unquote, they have to protect the shield. That's what he always says. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Buffalo Bills will issue some type of apology to him? Because when they let him go from the team, they stated that they were giving him time to deal, with this situation. Now, you're hearing right now, that wasn't by his choice. Okay. So it's not like Matt, it would have been different if Matt went to them and he was like, hey, I've got a lot going on. I don't really have time to dedicate to this right now. But that's not what happened. They said that, right, to make it sound like they were doing him a favor. But we all know that they cut him from the team because they didn't want to have this type of press on their team, So I want to know what you guys think. If Birdman, if you're in here, because you're a football guy, I want to know if you think any statement from the NFL will come out. Michelle says, this woman tried to ruin Matt's life. She could have stolen his dream. Forget about a fine. She needs jail time and a hard lesson in the repercussions of false accusations. I agree. I'm willing to bet, because this girl's young. Okay. I'm willing to bet that the reason why she lied, and again, this is just my hypothesis, right, is she probably didn't want to get in trouble by her parents. And again, you will see in the video how this girl behaves. Okay, she's quite intoxicated and she says some pretty disgusting things. I think it was probably something to that effect. She was trying to save face, or she didn't, she has a boyfriend and she didn't want her boyfriend to know she cheated. I don't know. Or that she was at some party and that she was drunk. Who knows? The reason why I say that is because in some of the cases that I researched around this case, some of them actually had statements from the accuser, and it was something to that effect. Usually, those that went to court, at least, that's what came out. All right, let's quickly finish this video, and then I'm gonna show you the clip from my video showing Matt's accuser.
So you were on the Buffalo Bills for a short stint. When they decided to cut you, how did they let you know?
They brought me into their office, Brandon Bean and the head coach, and they kind of sat me down and spoke to me for a while, and it was an open conversation, and I could ask questions, and I think it was right how they handled it, and it wasn't too bad of a conversation.
How did that feel for you in that moment?
It was tough, but when I saw the way the world reacted to it, I kind of saw it coming. I mean, there are other options that they could have explored, but they chose not to. So I can't say I was surprised with the way everyone kind of received the news.
What would you say to NFL teams to give you another shot?
Now, we have all the facts and all the evidence that completely blow up that story. So if this is what is keeping me out of the NFL, then that's not right, because it's not true. It's not true to have. It's not right to have your career taken based off of a false allegation.
Amen. Apparently, the Chiefs were the only ones that took the time to hear him out. All right. So let's get on to showing you my video and the clip of the young woman who accused him. Give me just 1 second so I can pull it up. You guys are going to see that I have very blonde hair in this video. So don't make fun of me. I was a blonde once upon a time. All right, let me just cue this video up really quick. And we're going to play it. All right, here we go. So what you're going to see here is this is the young woman that accused Matt of rape. This was the night of the party. This is the actual video that was sent to me. This was the night of the party. And these people, this hand that you see here, is part of the people that run this Instagram channel, which I did find the Instagram channel as well. I think I listed it in my video, where they go around and they interview girls who are drunk at parties. Okay. This is why, young ladies, This is why back in my day, now I get to talk about my day all the time. By the way, what's up, Soonie? Soonie's in the chat. And yes, this does prove the NFL is liberal. This is why back in my day, it was so much better, okay? Because if you were known to be this type of girl, if you were known to be a little loosey-goosey, you know, a little hoe, a little thought bot, it was word of mouth, okay? Like somebody told somebody who told somebody, okay? Or they saw your name on the bathroom door that was like, for a good time, call, da-da-da-da-da, okay? But now with the internet, you idiot children or young folks who love to just pull your phones out and record everything or post your little Snapchats and your little videos and partake in stupidities like this, you sink yourself because that stuff is out here forever. So one day after you get your shit together, you know, you realize you were young and dumb like we all do. You can't just put that in your past. And it can't just be a story that you tell your kids just a little piece of, right? To teach them a lesson. Oh no, they can Google your name and all the stuff that you've done pulls up. Okay. All the interviews, all the pictures, all the Snapchats, all your posts, they all pull up. Even if you delete your account, because if somebody else shared it, it's there forever. So that's a lesson. All right. Okay. Let's hear from this young woman. And you tell me how you think her character is after seeing Matt, the guy she accused of rape's character.
First body is like 15.
So he asked her, how many bodies do you have? That means how many people have you slept with? And she said, my first body was when I was 15. So her first sexual experience was when she was 15.
Like, how old were you?
14.
She was 14 when she first had sex. Well, see, that doesn't even make sense. So when she was 14, her first body, because she said I was 14. She's very, very intoxicated in this video, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm only 18.
Over 20?
She's only 18. That's what she says in the video, but she was 17.
I mean, I ate somebody's ass before, but
She ate somebody's ass. Okay, I'm giving you. I'm translating what she's saying. She ate somebody's ass. Classy girl.
that's only because they wanted it.
Of course, because why else would you eat somebody's ass? If they want it, then you eat it. That's a t-shirt. Why else? Look at her. She's so nasty. Okay, P.S. If you stick your tongue out like this, just like in general, or like I see you in pictures and you're just like, no, you're nasty. Okay. You're nasty. Any girl that sticks her tongue out is nasty. So he asked her. So I think this goes on a little bit more. Or no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. So that is the video that I got sent, the clip that I got sent. Okay. Yeah. Hashtag believe all women. You know, there's another hashtag out that is protect our sons, which I think is even a better hashtag. Okay. So I suspect that probably this could have been used to exonerate Matt. And the reason why I say that is because when I found this clip, or when they sent me this clip, and then I went onto the actual page where this clip was listed, it had a date, it had a time, this is at the SDSU Halloween party. So it was a block party. So what this girl was doing was she was going from party to party to party to party to party. Now the person that reached out to me for this exclusive piece of information they gave me, told me that they witnessed this girl at several other parties before the one that she was at, where Matt was at, and had basically done some pretty outlandish things there. Okay. So I just wonder if any of those people came out to speak on Matt's behalf? I imagine so, because this person that reached out to me said a lot of people in the community know Matt. They know his family. They know his character. And, they were all behind him. Okay. So I did want to highlight, and then I'm going to move on from this topic, but I did want to highlight, there are a total of 35 times in this article that I found. It was written in 2019, 35 times, okay, or examples of when men were falsely accused of rape. And these cases were either the accuser was charged with a crime or the facts of the case overwhelmingly pointed to being false and the accuser has not been named. But they do note in this article that this list of 35 names doesn't even come close to the actual number of false accusations that actually have been made. Okay. One of them was Jackie Coakley. So Jackie infamously told Rolling Stone magazine that she had been gang raped by fraternity members at the University of Virginia. In reality, no such gang rape occurred. Coakley invented a rapist and used a fake text message service, because you can do that now, to convince her friends he existed in order to make one of them jealous. You see what I'm saying? The accusation was a black mark for the magazine and led to 3 settlements with those defamed by Coakley's accusation. So basically, the person who was accused sued Rolling Stone's magazine for defamation. Okay. The other one is a gentleman named Legia Filler. Filler told police that her husband, it was a woman. Filler told police that her husband, Vladik, sexually assaulted her and their children while the couple was going through a bitter divorce. Vladik spent years in jail until he was exonerated in 2015. He sued the people who handled his case and settled for $375,000. How terrible is that? Okay, that a woman who was going through a divorce accuses her husband not only of raping her, but raping his children. Like, how sick do you have to be? How sick do you have to be? Mean Girls from Seneca High School. Casey and CS claimed a male classmate sexually assaulted them and their friends, Megan Villegas, and ES and HR. I don't know. These are like initials of people. 3 of the girls admitted they lied, but the boy had to leave school after being bullied as a predator. One of the girls says she accused him simply because she didn't like him. Simply because she didn't like him. That's what we're doing. Jane Roe of Allegheny College. John Doe and Jane Roe, both pseudonyms, had previously shared a bed. One night, the 2 engaged in sexual activity. Jane continued to send John friendly text messages about their quote-unquote relationship, but John was not interested. After Jane saw him at a party with another woman, Jane accused him of sexual assault. The college expelled him and then later settled when he was exonerated. So because he wasn't interested, she ruined his educational career. That's great. Love that for you. Jane Roe's friend of Colorado State University in Pueblo. A friend of Jane Roe saw hickeys on her neck and accused Grant Neal, who used his real name in the lawsuit, of sexual assault. Jane tried to stop the accusation and was recorded by Neal telling people involved in the investigation that she wasn't raped. So he got a recording of her basically admitting that she wasn't raped. Jessica Gallagher met a man on a dating app after he refused to give her a ride home. She told police he abducted, blindfolded, and raped her. She was charged with falsely reporting rape. Crystal Magnum. Magnum claims she was raped by 3 Duke lacrosse players. This is a very famous case. After stripping for them at an off-campus party. She made up the claim to avoid going to jail and losing her child and was aided in her deception by a district attorney hoping to get elected in the upcoming election. All 3 men were exonerated of all charges. Several years later, Magnum, the girl that accused him of rape, was convicted of second-degree murder for stabbing, you guessed it, her boyfriend. You see what happens when we don't hold these women accountable? But no. Women are angels. We have to believe all women because we don't lie. Tawana Brawley. Brawley claimed she was raped by 4 white men as a hate crime in 1987. Reverend Al Sharpton helped make her a household name, but a jury concluded that Brawley faked the crime so she wouldn't get in trouble at home. Have you ever heard Reverend Al Sharpton come out and say that she lied? I haven't. Jane Roe of Southeast London. They're worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. They are international, okay? This woman, whose name is still being protected, accused London resident Liam Allen of sexual assault because she didn't enjoy sex with him. The case against Allen was dismissed after 2 years when it was discovered the prosecution withheld 40,000 text messages from his accuser asking him for more sex and saying it wasn't against my will or anything. So she stated she did. So because she didn't enjoy the sex, she accused him of rape. See, that's the other thing. I have talked about this many, many times. Okay, ladies, because I also did a video on Demi Lovato and I know the Lovato people, I don't know what they call them, the fans of Demi Lovato will come after me because boy, did they come after me. That video that I did, man, that got so many views and they came, the Demi Lovato fans were ruthless. Okay. How dare I make her invalidate her feelings. Okay. Because Demi said, you know, she's on drugs and she had this very terrible life because she was raped by her drug dealer. She was raped by her drug dealer and she admitted it was a very unpleasant experience. And she's like, technically it wasn't rape. I mean, we had sex because, you know, he was giving me drugs, but afterwards I realized he shouldn't have done that. He really didn't do anything. You invited him over to get you high and you had sex with him. And because you felt bad afterwards doesn't make it rape. I know that that sounds terrible, but that's the truth. Okay. All right. A few more just so you guys get the picture and then we'll move on. Nikki Jovino of Sacred Heart University. Jovino falsely accused 2 football players of raping her in the bathroom during an off-campus party. Both men claimed they left the school after they were dismissed from their team and had their scholarships revoked. Though the school disputed this, 3 months later, Nikki admitted her claims were false. Jovino was charged with second-degree, thank God she was charged, falsely reporting an incident and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, and was sentenced to 3 years in prison, which will be suspended after just 1 year in jail. She also received 3 years of probation. Susan Shannon. In 2013, Shannon accused Colonel David Will Riggins of sexually assaulting her in 1986 while they were both cadets at West Point. The allegations caused Riggins to lose his promotion to general, leading him to retire. A jury heard both sides and awarded him $8.4 million in damages because there was no proof. All right. So you get the picture. Don't believe all women. And in the words of Candace Owens, that's all I have to say about that. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Are you guys still with me? If you are, give me a yes in the comments and let me know you're still with me. Yes, Gina, women are vicious. Yeah. It's so disheartening. It's so disheartening. Sorry, guys. My computer on my other screen is buffering. So let me just wait for it to correct itself. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Rose. Appreciate it. Sometimes I go on these websites and they slow down my computer. And I hope that this one gets fixed soon. I don't even know. You know what? Oh, yeah, I do need these headphones on, but actually I don't need to leave them on because I don't have Soonie to listen to. I typically only have to have these headphones on when I need to listen to Soonie. But I only have to put them on now or when I'm hearing a video. Alrighty. So my computer has unfrozen itself. Let's move on to this shooting. Okay. Let's move on to the shooting. So first off, I am going to read you an article about the shooting, and then I'm going to show you the body-worn camera so you guys can see what happened. And I do want to preface this by saying I just started learning about this today. I know Soonie did a video. She probably has thoughts on it. I actually have not finished her video, so I don't really know what her thoughts are on this, but we did have it on the show topics for today. So Soonie, if you're listening, I'm sure by Tuesday there's going to be more information on this, and we'll revisit this again so that you and I can talk about it. And then plus, you get to hear my opinion, which I know always excites you. And you know, we can go from there. All right. Okay. So this happened, like I said, in Houston. Houston woman attempting to get into her apartment, shot by deputies responding to break-in calls. Okay. So this is an ongoing investigation. So in the effort to practice what I preach, I'm going to say everything that I say in this video are just my very early on initial thoughts. I haven't dived deep into this. I'm just going based on what I see and what I think. I am by no means an expert. I am by no means convicting anybody or blaming anybody. I am just going to ask whatever questions pop up in my mind and make whatever statements come to my, to the forefront for me at this very moment. Okay. So go easy on me for those of you that are police shooting video experts. And you guys know all the laws in all the states. I have not researched this deeply. We're just going to do a real raw reaction video to this. Okay. So an allegedly armed, this is what they're saying, that she was allegedly armed 28-year-old Houston woman who attempted to get into her apartment was shot by deputies responding to calls of a break-in on Saturday. Okay. You're going to see this in the body-worn camera video. They're going to explain this. But the police were at this particular apartment complex on another call about a break-in when a second call came in from another neighbor in the complex stating that her neighbor's apartment was broken into. Okay. And you're going to understand how that all kind of comes together when you see everything. Okay. Multiple investigations into the incident are being conducted to determine if deputies were following normal procedures. Deputies responded to the break-in calls at the Pines of Wood Forest apartment complex at 90 Uvalde Road on Saturday. The caller reported someone was inside her apartment. So this is the initial call. Okay, understand that. This was the initial call that came in. This is not the secondary shooting that we're going to discuss. Okay, this is what had the police at the complex. So she reported someone was inside her apartment. The first deputy arrived to the scene to clear the apartment and no intruder was located. Before leaving, a neighbor told deputies that someone had broken into another nearby apartment. That's when deputies discovered a broken glass window near the front door of an apartment. Upon knocking and announcing their presence, deputies reportedly noticed a woman approaching the front door holding a firearm. The two deputies at the scene discharged their weapons and shot the woman. She did not die, but she did suffer injuries. Investigators later determined that the wounded female is a resident of the apartment and that she and another female had broken their own window to get inside because they did not have the apartment key. The woman was rushed to a nearby hospital and is currently in stable condition. So nobody actually died in this particular one, which is great news. Deputies discovered a handgun inside the apartment while doing a sweep after the incident. The Harris County District Attorney's Office and the Sheriff's Office Internal Affairs Division are conducting independent investigations into the incident. The result of this administrative investigation will be present to the Sheriff's Administrative Committee to determine if the deputies' actions were in accordance with departmental policies and procedures, according to the Sheriff's Office. Body cam footage relevant to the incident will be released. So I have that, and we're going to take a look at it. Okay. What's up, Jacqueline? What's up? All right. So do I have it already up? Here it is. Okay, so this is the first video. Now I'm going to pause it a little bit throughout the video because I don't want our video to get flagged because you are going to hear gunshots. So if you are watching and you're sensitive to hearing gunshots, please just note that there are several gunshots heard in this video. I'm going to do my best to just stop it in between and let you guys know when that's coming up, because I do want to be sensitive to anybody who is, who gets triggered by that stuff. No pun intended. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, trying to forward through all this stuff.
This video is intended to provide information about a critical incident that occurred on February 3rd, 2024. At approximately 2:10 a.m., Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a call at 90 Uvalde Road. The caller reported someone was inside her apartment. At approximately 2:14 a.m., the first deputy arrived on the scene and met the apartment tenant and a maintenance worker. The deputy made sure the apartment was safe and secure. There was no intruder located inside. A second deputy then arrived to assist. A resident of a neighboring apartment approached the deputy and reported that someone had broken into another nearby second-floor apartment. Deputies went to investigate the reported break-in. They saw the front window screen removed, broken glass, and the blinds raised near the front door. The deputies knocked on the front door and verbally announced their presence. One deputy reported that she saw a person approaching the door with a gun in their hand. Two deputies discharged their duty weapons, wounding a woman inside the apartment. North Channel Emergency Medical Services took the injured woman to a local hospital for treatment. No other injuries were reported. Deputies later determined that the wounded woman was a guest of the apartment resident and that they had broken the window to get inside because they did not have a key with them. The following footage is from the deputies' body-worn cameras.
So these are two female officers, just FYI. I just want to point that out. And this, again, is the secondary call. This is not the first call about the break-in. This is a secondary additional call. So they're walking up to the second floor right now.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you, check it right, check on it.
So the officer, because you can see here, her holster is empty. She already has her gun out, just FYI. I don't know if the officer behind her does, but she does have her gun out. And you're going to see pretty quickly as she approaches like the top landing that you'll see the broken window. You'll see that they kind of look inside. And then she goes and knocks on the door and announces who they are. It's also very lit in that apartment also. I tried to, and again, I'm pausing strategically because I don't want to get flagged, but I tried to see, like more detail once you kind of do see somebody that the officers see, but she kind of gets in the way right after that happens. So she's looking down. Now, okay, so there she is announcing herself. I think it's kind of weird. And again, I don't know what the law is. And I don't know what the protocol is in a situation like this. But I think it's kind of interesting that the one that's got the weapon is literally knocking on the door. I don't know, like it just kind of seems weird to me. But I could be wrong. I'm not a police officer. I don't know what the protocol is in this type of situation. But she does have her weapon pretty much almost at the ready right here at the front door.
Stop this!
She does yell pretty loud. Okay, so if you are sensitive to gunshots, they will be coming up in a little bit. So she's kind of backed up from the door. Okay, so you guys, it happened really quick, but right here, somebody just walked. Okay. I'm curious to know, did this person have a weapon hanging down by their side that she saw it in their hands? Did she see this person raise their weapon? It's very hard to tell what it is that she saw. Because it's dark, or this person is wearing dark clothing, and at least the lighting here, it's hard to see. But she clearly is looking at the window right here. So the officer behind her is the one that actually pulls out her weapon to shoot. And I hear as she's shooting, she says, "Shots fired." I'll back it up a little bit more. So I don't know if she's indicating she's making the shots fired or she's claiming that shots were fired. Okay, so we'll back it up. Okay, so you're hearing her really unload her weapon. Okay, and you do see her reach for another clip. Okay, so she's going to empty the first clip and go in for the second.
Shot fire, shot fire.
Okay. So here's my other thought. Are they both shooting? I don't know, because I can't see what this other lady on the other side is doing, but this one's clearly on her second clip, and they're shooting quite a bit. Okay. Now, in watching police officers comment on situations like this, what I have always heard is the general rule is you shoot until the threat is eliminated. Okay. However, and again, this is just my observation. I don't know what they actually witnessed, what was done, if they saw this woman point a gun. We're going to hear about what the commentary from the friend that was inside this apartment says in a press conference. But to me, it's a lot of shots, and you can't see what's going on. You don't know who else is in there. You don't know what you're shooting at. So again, I go back to, I don't know what the protocol is here, but it seems quite risky to me. And some would say it's kind of reminiscent of like the Breonna Taylor thing, right? Like where the guy was on the outside of the apartment and he was shooting into the apartment from outside the window, not knowing. Okay. So yeah. And you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so this is the second deputy's camera view that we're going to see.
No, but let's go up there. Charles cell phone channel.
I'm gonna tell you check it right, check it on.
So did y'all hear her? She said, fuck, but did she try to open the door? It almost sounded like she tried to open the door. What do y'all think? Do you guys think she tried to open the door? Is that what it sounded like? Let me back it up a little bit more and let's see. Hold on one second. Fuck. Yeah, you hear that? Fuck. One more time. Yeah, it sounds like she tried to open the door. Do you guys agree? I mean, is that part of protocol that you just open the door?
Sheriff's office! Here, let's go down that one a little bit.
I don't mean to keep pausing this. I have to. I found it interesting, the car beeping in the background, and you guys will see when the friend speaks. She also makes mention that she lost her cell phone that day, so she had no way of calling the police or calling anybody. Part of me wonders, like, did she maybe set off her car alarm to kind of bring attention up there? I don't know. Okay, so here we see they're both shooting. Okay, so that's why there's so many gunshots. They're both shooting. I don't know. Do we think that's a little bit extreme for looking in the apartment and not seeing anything? Well, I mean, you saw one person, right? You saw one person in there. Maybe possibly she claims that she saw that person with a gun. Obviously, that person did have a gun because they did find the gun at the scene, and then the person admits to getting the gun. You'll see all this in a second. But just on my first glance, just not knowing anything about what the law states in this particular county, it seems excessive to me. I feel like they did, everything kind of pretty protocol up until this point, and this seems a little excessive to me, a little risky considering you don't know what else is or who else is in that apartment. Plus, you're in an apartment, right? So what's in apartments? People on the other side of the wall. Okay, so are these gunshots going through other apartments? We're actually going to go inside the apartment in another video so you guys can see what it looks like inside.
Where's that? Go down. Go down. Go down. Charles Club, we need people. Shots fired. Step down. Go inside your house.
Deputies.
So she yells, "Go inside your house." So clearly one of the women comes out of the house. So it says here the deputies located a handgun inside the apartment.
A handgun inside the apartment near the entryway.
Here it is.
The information included in this video is preliminary. No criminal charges were filed at the time of this video release. An investigation into this incident is ongoing by the Sheriff's Office homicide.
Okay, so that's that information. Now let's move to the video where you hear the family members speak. So I'm going to pull that up really quick. And the woman that was in the apartment, and they're going to show the apartment. Okay. Okay, so here it is right here. What just happened? Gotta love it. Technical difficulties. What's going on here? Where'd the video go? A little much, I think. Okay, why is this playing again? Sorry, guys. Now you get to see in real time the struggle. Okay, I just want this video. That's all I want, YouTube. All right, here we go. So this is the attorney. This is the friend that was inside the apartment. And I don't know who these people are. Okay, she clearly loves Beyonce's new album, Texas Hold'em. Okay, just a little side joke there. Just to keep the moment light. Just to keep it light. So I'm going to play this statement. We're going to stop it. And then he's going to take us inside the apartment so you guys can see all the bullet holes and the condition of the apartment. And I apologize for the volume. That's them speaking into the microphone. So I'll do my best to explain what he's saying.
To speak out on behalf of this beautiful African-American mother and this beautiful African-American family and sister who was absolutely the victims of an absolute outrageous police attack. The Harris County Sheriff's deputies had no justifiable reason whatsoever to shoot into that apartment like they did, solely because they believed this sister was a burglar breaking into her own apartment. She lives here. She's a resident of here. She was not breaking any laws. She broke into her own apartment because she was locked out. And when they came, they never gave them a chance whatsoever to explain the situation, to explain what was taking place or what was happening. They automatically came up unidentifying themselves and shooting. And then
Okay, so the attorney's lying. The attorney's lying right there. He said they didn't announce, they didn't identify themselves. You guys saw for yourselves. Let me know in the comments. Just let me know I'm not crazy. You guys saw in the video that we just played that they knocked on the door and announced that they were sheriffs from Harris County Sheriff's Department. Can I get an amen? We're going to say, can I get an amen? Because this brother's up here preaching to us like he's already in the courtroom. He has given his opening statement. Hardcore. Okay. I love when they say they had no reason. How do you know? Okay. You don't know. You only know what we know. You only know what your client told you, and your client's going to tell you, whatever they're going to tell you, because obviously they don't want to be in the wrong. And I'm not saying she is in the wrong, but you got to be careful, attorney. You got to be careful. So, right there, we'll replay it again. He said they had no reason. They didn't announce.
They never gave them a chance whatsoever to explain the situation, to explain burglar breaking into her own apartment. She lives here. She's a resident of here. She was not breaking any laws. She broke into her own apartment because she was locked out. And when they came, they never gave them a chance whatsoever to explain the situation, to explain what was taking place or what was happening. They automatically came up unidentifying themselves and shooting. And then after they shot, then they say Sheriff's Department. Why?
That's not true. That's not true. It's not true that they said after they shot Sheriff's Department. This guy must have gone to Ben Crump's School of Law. What the heck?
The hell would you not identify yourself first?
She did.
Why did you use your bullhorn? Why didn't you circle the complex from front to back and use your radio, your bullhorn, and say, come out with your hands up and identify yourself? Why did you shoot first, then identify yourself? You shot so many shots inside of that apartment. It's amazing, and only by God's grace that this mother survived.
That's very true. Jacqueline, it's the video. It's their positioning with the mic. I can't do anything about it. I have it at full volume. I will say he's true. It is a miracle that people survived that, because there were a lot of shots. There were a lot of shots fired.
You shot at this baby's room. This baby's room has over 20 bullet holes in it. Over 20 bullet holes. Right around 27 bullet holes. How in the hell can you all call yourselves well-trained?
I do not know if the child that was that the room took most of the bullet holes from, if that child was actually in the room. I mean, clearly he wasn't hurt. He's right there. But I do not know if he was in the room at the time. Keep in mind, this was at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Police officers, when you didn't even follow proper protocol and procedure. All you had to do was secure the perimeter, identify yourself. They would have came out and explained to you there's no break-in.
But they did identify themselves, and you didn't answer the door. You walked towards the door, but you had a gun in your hand. Okay. I would think, okay, the window's open, that maybe you yell out, we live here, we're coming out, we're not armed, anything to minimize the police's concern. Because keep in mind, they're there investigating a previous report of a break-in,
We live here. And even after she explained to the police she lived here, this was her home, they threw her to the ground, handcuffed her in the rain, and put her in the backseat of a car for hours.
Now, we don't know. That's just him saying. I think it's funny that they have to say in the rain. They handcuffed her. They threw her to the ground. I mean, I haven't seen any video of that, and I'm surprised, because nowadays everything is on video. So maybe somebody's got video of that. Maybe somebody doesn't. But just to kind of play devil's advocate on that, just because you say you live somewhere doesn't mean the police have to be like, oh, okay, you live here. Okay, cool. Like, and just because they put handcuffs on you doesn't mean you're arrested. Police do detain people and question them while they are safely detained with their hands behind their back. So I don't know if his claims of her being thrown to the ground violently are true. You know, we have to always like keep in mind he could be blowing this out of proportion, or he could be telling the truth. That could be what happened.
And this poor sister, she shot up. They didn't call for paramedics. They left her in there for a while, then made a woman shot 7 times. Shot 7 times, walked all the way out that apartment. And you see on the video, she walked all the way down the stairs. A woman shot 7 times was made to walk out of there and all the way.
I know I didn't see any rain either. I mean, it could have started raining by that time. I don't know for a fact that they made her walk down the stairs. Was she shot 7 times directly with a bullet, or was she hit 7 times with shrapnel? I mean, it seems to not be that serious considering she's in stable condition. I think there was another case like this, like where they said somebody was shot multiple times and it was like all shrapnel. Now you can get some damage from some shrapnel now, don't get me wrong. But like, let's watch this and not get emotionally driven by how passionate this man is delivering the details of how the events allegedly took place. Let's just be objective with that and understand that we don't know how it actually happened.
Down the stairs, even after she told them we live here. Even after she told them this is my apartment.
Remember, we don't believe all women around here. I'm just saying. A woman accused her husband of raping her and her children and turned out to be a lie. We should believe her. Just saying.
The sister, Ebony, was in there screaming for help. They still didn't call 911 because they didn't give a damn if she died or not.
That's hard to prove, sir. That's hard to prove. You're going to have to prove that they didn't care. Okay. Very egregious statement there. Doesn't need to be said. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear her screaming in there. But again, she could have been. Maybe that was after the video ended. I don't know. But yeah.
We're asking for an independent investigation.
Of course you are.
We want an outside agency.
I agree.
From the FBI to investigate this shooting. We don't trust no Texas Rangers.
Why?
We don't trust the Harris County Sheriff's detectives. None of that. We want an independent outside agency. Step in and investigate.
Because the FBI. We trust the FBI. We don't trust Harris County. We don't trust the Texas Rangers. But the FBI, we trust.
This. Even after they told you we live here, this is my place, you still threw on the ground and handcuffed her and didn't go in and call 911 to get assistance, medical assistance for the woman who was shot. You made her walk down the stairs, shot 7 times because you didn't give a damn if she died or not. Come on, tell what happened when you all got here. Take your time.
So this is the friend.
So when we got to the house, we realized we didn't have the key.
Okay, so her volume is even lower. Okay, so I'm going to stop it so you guys can, so I can tell you exactly what she's saying. We want people who will be on our side to investigate. Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, that's the case in every situation. They want people on their side to investigate, right? So she said, we got to the house and we didn't have a key.
I told Ebony to break the window.
She told Ebony to break the window. Okay, so this woman right here is the actual resident of the apartment, and Ebony is a friend. So she told her friend to break the window.
That would have been the 3rd time the window would have been broken.
That's the 3rd time the window has been broken. So this woman makes it a habit of forgetting her key. And as a solution, she just breaks the window.
I stayed here in the duration of 2 years. So the window being broken wasn't a big deal.
The window being broken wasn't a big deal.
The maintenance team is really good. They fix it the next morning. And they
the maintenance team. The maintenance team is real good at fixing it the next morning, and then they charge them a $60 fee. So I don't know about you. I don't know what kind of money she got. Now, when you see the inside of the apartment, it looks pretty trash. I don't know if it's like that because they moved out. But I think it's weird to forget your key, yet the door was locked. Okay, so you live there. You're the only person who lives there. Your friend is with you. Somehow your door is locked. How you locked the door when you forgot the key, I don't know. Okay. The door's locked. So you tell your friend, break the window. But you do it all the time. But you still tell your friend to break the window, even though you just said we do it all the time because we always forget our key. Amazing that not once, but 3 times she has forgotten her key and broken the window, but she was still able to lock the door before she left.
Charge $60. So that's what we did. I didn't have a phone. My phone was lost that same day. So
she didn't have a phone. Her phone was lost that same day.
We didn't have a phone to call anybody. So I told her to break the window. I go inside. Once I went inside,
so she told her friend to break the window, and then she went inside. Now, I'm not trying to fat shame anybody. And I'm not saying she's fat, but she ain't a small girl. The size of the window pane that was broken for her to climb through, I need a reenactment of that. Okay. How you didn't get cut up, how you even went through that little hole. I need to see it with my own eyes because that was weird to me. And we can circle back to the window in a second. But how did you climb through the window, girl?
We were there for about 20 minutes. The next thing I know, I hear loud banging on the door.
Did you say you heard banging on the door? So then you must have heard them announce Harris County Sheriff's Department. Did I hear that correctly? Chat, did y'all hear that? She said she heard the banging on the door.
And when they started banging on the door, I was like, what's that? What's that noise? Ebony grabbed her gun and ran to the door.
I mean, you'll see the apartment. It's not large. The window was open. The blinds were half up. She heard banging on the door. She didn't see the police standing right there in front of the window. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying anything. She could be 100% right. But what I heard in the video was they announced themselves very clearly after they banged on the door.
I didn't hear anything after that. The next thing I know, Ebony came back and she said she was shot.
Okay. She said, let's just run it back real quick again, because I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Hold on.
Ebony grabbed her gun and ran to the door.
Ebony grabbed the gun and ran to the door.
I didn't hear anything after that.
I didn't hear anything after that. Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear what happened after Ebony grabbed her gun and went to the door? What did we hear, chat? What did we hear, chat? When you see the size of the apartment, explain to me how she did not know or didn't hear anything after Ebony got her gun and went to the door, okay? It's not like this girl right here was in the west wing of the apartment and Ebony went to the east wing of the apartment and said, I'm going to go get my gun and go see what's going on in the east wing. No. Like, I could stand in their apartment and literally touch the walls with my arms. You're going to see in a second. So tell me how she didn't hear anything after Ebony got her gun and went to the door. I heard over 20 gunshots. She may have one of the doors that you can lock the door without using a key or locking a deadbolt. True. She could have that. I couldn't really see the door very well, but you're right. Maybe like a code thing is what you're talking about. That's very true. Thanks for pointing that out. But wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Because if you could use a code to lock the door, you can use a code to get back in.
I know.
Next thing she knows, Ebony came back. So Ebony could walk, right? Remember, he said they made this woman walk down the stairs. Get up and walk down the stairs. So Ebony got up from the floor where she was shot 7 times and came back over to the east wing where she's at. Let's see what she had to say.
And she said she was shot.
She said she was shot. She didn't know. This girl missed it. Where was she? Where was she at? Where were you at, girl? Where were you at? You didn't hear the gunshots? I heard the gunshots.
So I ran to my son's room.
She ran to her son's room. So you guys are going to see what this all looks like.
And I looked out the window.
And she looked out the window.
After she told me she was shot, I told her to call 911.
Wait a minute. After she told you she was shot, you told her to call 911. Didn't you say y'all didn't have a cell phone at the beginning of this? We're going to circle back on that too. Okay, chat, keep notes for me. Number 1, we're going to circle back on the size of that window that this girl had to climb through. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to circle back to, what did I say? See, I already forgot. This is why. Oh, the cell phone. We're going to circle back to what she said about the cell phone. Because I heard her say they didn't have a cell phone. So now they got a cell phone and she told Ebony, call the police your damn self. I know you've been shot 7 times, Ebony, but pick up the phone and call because I'm too busy. Okay. Man, I can't wait for Soonie to come back and talk about this.
So when I ran to my son's room, I ran back to her and I told her it's the police. So imagine calling the police.
So it was not until after she went to the window of her son's room that she saw that it was the police.
Just to realize it's the police who's hurting you. The only crime that was committed that day was done by the police.
The only crime that was committed that day was done by the police.
So when Ebony was shot, I was not going to come outside. It took a while to come out because, of course, I was scared. I was thinking I was going to die. I was going to be next. I was going to get shot up next. That's all I could think. I was thinking I wasn't going to see my son again. I didn't know what to think. So after she said, if you don't go out there, they're going to come in here and kill us. And
so Ebony, laying on the ground, 7 gunshots, says to this girl, you need to go out there because if you don't, they're coming in and they're taking us both out.
not ask any questions.
Don't ask questions.
When she said that, that's when I knew I had no choice.
So she looked at Ebony and she was like, okay, I'm going out. This is Mo. This is Mo narrating the video for y'all.
I had to gather up every ounce of courage and strength that I had, and I had to head towards that door because my life and her life depended on it.
She was the hero in this situation. She went towards the door for Ebony. I don't mean to make light of this, you guys. I'm just making this entertaining. Gina says, no, the doorknob has a lock that you can lock without a key. Okay. Okay.
So I go out the door, which is from what y'all can see. Everything else from that point on is y'all see it. Everything else from that point on is recorded. So I go out the door. I'm telling them I live here. I'm screaming. I see nothing but red and blue lights all through here. Nothing but faces, angry faces. Face looks that can kill. So I'm
angry faces, looks that can kill. She could see all that, but she couldn't hear the gunshots.
Walking down the stairs, trembling, telling them I live here as loud as I can, trying to enunciate myself and project my voice as loud as I can.
I didn't hear her in the video, but we could circle back to that also. But what I did hear was the police telling her, go back in your apartment or go back in the apartment.
Letting them know that I stay here. Even after I explained that I stayed here and that I live here and that I've been paying my rent here for over 2 years, and let me go grab my lease agreement. Let me show y'all my identification. Let me show y'all. Let me prove it to y'all. Let me prove it to y'all that I live here. Let me prove something to y'all that I shouldn't even have to prove. Once I said I lived here, I understand it's their job and it's protocol, but that should have been that.
No. That's not how it works, unfortunately. Just because you say doesn't mean they have to believe you. Okay. That is the protocol. You can say, oh, I'm gonna go get my lease agreement, but how do they know you're not gonna go get another gun? You got to be dumb. Come on now. You should have just come out with your hands up, maybe lay down on the ground, let them know you're no threat. When they come up to you, just say, hey, when you're ready, I can produce my driver's license. I can produce my lease agreement so you can see that I live here, right? I'm very curious to know, did it go down as calmly as she's saying? Because remember, the attorney said that she was thrown to the ground. Okay. So again, I'd like to see the video of them throwing her to the ground and why they threw her to the ground. Like, did they just throw her to the ground? Like they just ran up there and grabbed her and threw her to the ground for no reason? I don't know. I think they were at fault for definitely excessively shooting through the window. Okay. So we already know that they may not be following protocol properly. I will say that, okay, regardless of all these statements that this girl is saying that kind of don't add up to me. I can't admit that I don't think that them shooting as much as they did was justified. But let's keep listening.
Gun should not have still been pointed at me. So
These were a bunch of reckless cowboys.
Okay, so he calls the police reckless cowboys. Okay, sir, they were two women. Let's get it straight here. Let's not misidentify or misgender in this situation. These were two women. Now, hey, I'm going to say this. Could this be the result of what, 4 months of police training looks like? Could this be the result of, what is it called? Not the diversity hire. I think maybe it might be under the diversity hire of we need to hire more women. We need to hire more handicapped people. We need to hire people with more mental illnesses. Could this be the result of that? I don't know. But he keeps referring to them as cowboys. He wants to put this mental image in you, these reckless cowboys. Be afraid of cowboys. When you see cowboys, be afraid. Even though Beyonce is pushing a new country record, don't trust those cowboys.
Because even after they knew she was a resident, their behavior never changed.
They didn't know, sir.
When you hear somebody banging at your door in a high crime area, you have a right to go to that door with a gun in your hand to make sure you're safe. Ebony never shot at them. They saw through the window she had a gun. And as you see, look at the front door. They shot through the door. They shot through the door, not even announcing themselves.
They did announce themselves. Stop lying. That he's flat out lying about. We'll circle back to that.
This is a disgrace. This is not what Harris County taxpayers are paying for. We in this county deserve better. We should be protected by law enforcement, not by a bunch of reckless cowboys just shooting all over the place. That many shots? And you were never even fired upon. You were never even shot at.
I agree with that statement. If they did not shoot at the officers, that many shots is not justified. I will agree with that statement.
That many shots, and you shot in a baby's room 27 times.
Well, this is clearly.
Oh, she got the fist. Here it is. We know who she's with. She with the BLM. What does that say? Something. Black Families National. Oh, okay. So she's part of some organization, probably of Black families who have suffered something, as a result of the police.
an example of shoot first and ask questions later. And that's exactly what Harris County displayed. We do not pay our tax dollars for you to shoot at constituents and then ask questions later. We pay for, as taxpayers, for you all to go through training, for you to use.
Okay, I don't really care what she has to say. But let me circle back to the statement about the cell phone, like we said we were going to, and then remind me of the other thing. Oh, we want to look at the window. Okay, that's in a different video. Hold up.
Take your time.
I told Emily to break the window. That would have been the third time the window would have been broken since I stayed here in the duration of 2 years. So the window being broken wasn't a big deal. The maintenance team is really good. They fix it the next morning and they charge $60. So that's what we did. I didn't have a phone. My phone was lost that same day.
She didn't have a phone. The phone was lost that same day. So I'm assuming nobody had a phone. Because why didn't you use Ebony's phone if she had a phone? Apparently she did have a phone because she told her to call 911. Okay. So he blames the Cowboys and then brings up a cowboy. Yeah. This one right here. This is what she talking about. All right. We're going to look back at the window. And actually I can show it to you in this video. So here he invites the media up into the apartment, which I was like, isn't this a crime scene? Like, how are you going to invite? And you're going to see the amount of people. No, the son's a baby, Gina. The son is a baby. You'll see him. You kind of see him in the video. He's an infant. He doesn't have a phone. And I don't even think the baby was there. I thank God the baby wasn't there. If the baby wasn't there, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the baby was not there. But look at how many people, because in my mind, the attorney invites the media up there to look at that, but the whole family, okay, and all the friends and cousins of them walking up the stairs to go inside the apartment they've been in already, okay? I think it's weird because I'm like, this is a crime scene. Like, why would you invite people to go walking around in there? You know what I mean? I don't know if they've already processed it and released it or what. Okay, this is a great stop. So you see this window? You see this window. So they actually have a board up on this window right now. But before in the video where the police officers are standing, it's this bottom pane, this bottom left corner right here is what they broke. Okay. This girl going in through the door is the one that climbed through it. Tell me how. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But while we're in this position, you guys that are experts on the doors that lock, this looks like a pretty standard lock to me. This looks like a pretty standard apartment door lock. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments. Okay. Luckily, she didn't forget her key this day. She remembered it. There is a close-up of it. Okay. Is that one of those locks that you can lock from the outside automatically or whatever you guys were saying? Take a good look at it. Looks like a standard lock to me. All right, so here comes the parade of media. Yep, you need a key. Thank you. Okay, so here's the baby. That's the nephew right there that you saw going up the stairs. Right there. That's the little boy. So he's just telling them there's blood on. He says, if you want to see the blood, look on the ground. Look at all this blood. Now tell me why all these people need to be going up there right now. She was laying here while they were down there. As she's laying here, she's begging for help. She's pleading. She's explaining to them she can't come down. However, Ebony ran into the other room where the other girl is. And I apologize, I can't remember what the other girl's name is. But Ebony, the victim, got up from the floor after being shot 7 times and ran into the other room to tell the other girl, I've been shot. And then she told Ebony, well, girl, call the police. Multiple times.
But they did nothing. And while she's explaining that she's shot, she's wounded, the young lady's laying here, you see the blood splatters, they still didn't come up to help her. They saw she was unarmed, laying here shot. They made her crawl and come down those damn stairs after they knew that they lived here.
He had to give one last speech before he let them in. Okay, so there you go. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You see where this? I had the wrong window. It's this right one. Does that look like somebody could crawl through that? Because if anybody's blood is on the ground, now mind you, Ebony is not the one that climbed through the window, but Ebony's is the blood that's all over the place. Okay, Ebony's not the one. Ebony only broke the window, and the other girl climbed through this jagged, 3/4 broken window. Tell me how. Tell me how. Somebody explain to me that. Is it possible that that woman we saw could climb through this little tiny hole and not be cut up to pieces? There's another view of it. There's no way. There is no way a person climbed through this window. I'm sorry, Soonie, if you're listening, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And maybe you didn't see this video, but something ain't right. Okay, so here we are inside the apartment. Now I'm hoping that they are just in the process of getting their stuff out. I'm hoping that this is not what that poor child was living in, because this place is a wreck.
Look right behind you. Look behind you too. Look right behind you. Look at that. Look at that.
So those are all the gunshots in the wall. So I'd be interested in somebody looking at these, if you could tell me if these are bullet holes that look like they came from the outside or the inside. Because you see this big one right here that's labeled 24A. This one looks different from all the other ones, and it's a different size. Okay, so if you noticed all the gunshots, all the bullet holes, sorry, on the, hey Dave, let me call my gun expert up here. Come over here and look at this real quick. I'm curious to know if this is from a different weapon, because the officers have the same weapon. They have the standard weapon that is issued to the officers. But this looks like it's from a different type of weapon. Okay. So, all right. I'm calling Dave up here, my husband, to come up here because he knows his weapons and his bullets. And he can tell us. Okay. So Dave, I don't know if you've been listening to the show. Okay. So there was a shooting. Police shot into an apartment. Okay.
I saw some of the video clip.
Okay. So I want you to look at, so these bullet holes are some of the bullet holes that are in the wall. Okay. Right here. You can't really see them too good right here. There's a little bit closer. You see the size?
Small caliber. Entry points. Those are exit points. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So they should all be entry points.
That's one side.
Hold on.
What's the other?
They should all be entry points.
That's exit points. That's the other side of the door. So when a round goes through, it goes through small and comes out bigger.
Okay. So these are from the outside of the apartment?
What were they shooting into?
So there were 2 police officers
Outside.
shooting from the outside.
Yeah, those are exit points of the bullets coming through the wall.
Okay, but why is this bullet hole bigger?
Because it was probably multiple shots. It's probably 2 shots that were put right on top of each other. Almost.
Okay, but I would say you're correct. But right here, they label multiple shots. Right here, they labeled this as one shot. But see how they put a number when it's multiple shots? This only has one number. 24A is a bigger hole.
They could have also made a mistake because it looks to me like it's 2 rounds. It looks like it's more than 1 round. Or like you see here how this round scraped the wall.
Uh-huh.
The shots are probably coming into this angle.
Do you see anything that looks like it wouldn't be a larger caliber from the outside or a different caliber? No. You don't? It all looks like one caliber?
Yeah, look at all. I mean, everything looked, because of you can tell by the direction of the rounds travel.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's blowing this way.
Okay, so let's go inside a little bit more. Hold on, guys. We're getting these analyzed live.
And when you look here,
uh-huh,
all those holes are pretty much the same size.
Yeah, those holes are pretty much the same size. Right. Okay. So I'm going to forward through here because you guys can just see the video of, so this is the baby's bedroom. I pray to God the baby was not in this situation.
There's more rounds impacting.
Yeah.
Those look more like exit points.
So coming from the outside. These are all bullet holes that would have come from the patio on the outside.
Yes, those look like exit points. Yeah.
Okay, those are exit points.
That's what it looks like to me. Okay. They're bigger.
Okay. And there should be a corresponding exit point on the side, on the other side of this entry point to exit point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is pretty much, you guys are seeing I'm just forwarding through this video so you guys don't need to watch it all. So this is behind the door that you're seeing right here. So they closed the bedroom door.
Was the door open when the shots?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, look, all right, so see here, and here.
Yeah.
Now go to the door.
Go back to the door. Wait, what were those numbers? Those were 58A, 57A, 60A.
Pattern. So this pattern here
matches this.
That's what I'm wondering. If you were to open the door, or
there should be a corresponding pattern for the door to the wall.
If the door was open.
Yeah.
If the door opened this way, does it open this way?
Okay, so even if the let's just say the door was closed, would the shots look like that on the door coming from the patio that's off to the left?
Yeah, these are exit. Those are coming through the wall.
We're doing a gunshot analysis.
And again, you can see how the bullet carved the wall this way.
Yeah.
It looks like it's doing this.
Yeah. But see, like there's not a corresponding shot here.
Maybe these puncture points were the rounds losing energy and hitting the doors.
Yeah.
Because you see how they're all doing that.
Yeah.
They're all at an angle.
Like in a line.
Well,
and
no.
there were 2. Yeah, they're at an angle, but there were 2 officers shooting, and they were like behind, behind. Yeah.
They were stacked on each other.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, all right, guys.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable amount of gunfire.
Unbelievable for one person. Yeah. Okay, so Joshua says sorry guys for that. You have a 1 in 17 chance of being a victim of a crime in Houston. At what point do communities have to take responsibility for police responding like this? Very true. Very good point. Gina says you need a key to get in, but not on the inside. You just twist the knob, and she is not claiming that window was that side of the window shot out, and that is a pretty big window. And she is not claiming that window. I don't know what other windows she could have gone in because it's a patio and the other side is there's nothing to stand on. That's the baby's room's window, and there's no way that they could have gotten in through there. Unless there's another window that I don't see. Okay. Here they are, apartment, and just kind of looking closely at the bullet holes. So that's the bullet hole that I was questioning. You could see on the wall that some of the bullet holes have multiple numbers, meaning there's multiple bullets that were there. I remarked that this one looked kind of large, but Dave said that it looks like to the left of it, there's another bullet hole, but it looks like the way it was marked, like it was one. So I don't know if that was a mistake or what. See how these have, I'll show you. See like these right here, 41, 42. Yeah. And then they just kind of go back outside. Hopefully he gets back so I can see if there's any other windows that they could have come through.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're meaning, because this is a second floor apartment. I don't know how she could have gotten in this window if that's the other window you're talking about. Other than that, the only window would have been the patio. There it is right there. Okay. So that is the only possible window she could have gone through. This window, there's no possible way somebody could have gone in through there. Nor did we see a broken window there. And they're obviously filming this window because this is the window I'm assuming that's in question. Ah, there's the blood. So it looks like that's a footprint, a bloody footprint. Man, if somebody climbed through that window that we just looked at, they sure would have a bloody footprint. And that is probably like a maintenance closet. There's a lock there. I don't know why they're going back in. It looks like they removed an area of the carpet right here. That's probably where the young woman that was shot was injured.
So I'm glad you all got a chance to see this. But for a woman that never shot at them, never fired a weapon, somebody's banging at your door, not identifying themselves.
And I do want to point out, okay, again, you guys see how tiny this apartment is. You guys see how tiny this apartment is. Like, the kitchen is literally like to the right of this gentleman over here. This is the living room. And then to this hall, there's a bedroom to the left, which is the bedroom they were in, and a bedroom to the right. I don't know how it is possible that when the woman claims she told Ebony, or Ebony went and got her gun and went to the front door, and then her next statement was, and then I heard nothing after that. How is it possible you did not hear the gunshots? That is not a big apartment.
You can see they start shooting and running down the stairway. Look at all of these shots. They shot this entire place up. Shot this entire apartment up. You shoot into a baby's room this many times? You shoot into a baby's room?
There's the woman that went through the window, y'all. Let me just show her right here. That woman went through the window. She's the one.
You shoot into a baby's room this many times. This was nothing more than a bunch of reckless cowboys having target practice. It looks like they came in to have target practice. There was no threat that legitimized and made it a legitimate reason to use this amount of excessive deadly force. This is a disgrace, it's a shame, and we demand justice. And we want an outside third-party agency to investigate this entire incident. Thank you, y'all.
All right. Oh, he says, can you tell us which window is broken?
This one here? Right there, yes, the front.
There he is. He pointed out the front window. Okay, so there we go. It was the front window. That guy that asked the question is thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I'm just going to say that. He's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Okay. Man, that's crazy. All right. When Ben Crump shows up, there's always more to the story. I can't believe this man is an attorney. Well, that's not Ben Crump, by the way. Joshua, that's a different, I don't know what that attorney's name, but that's not Ben Crump. Both sides of the window look like it's missing. If you look at the window above, you can tell the glass is there. Let's see. All right, let me go back to sharing. What up, Mad Cow? I haven't seen you in so long. I hope you're doing well. It's just me tonight. I'm solo. Okay, you said, I'm sorry, both sides of the window look like it's missing. If you look at the window above, you can tell the glass is there. Okay, yeah, I think you're referring to this section right here. Yeah, I mean, again, I want to know how, oh, you're talking about this. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So this right here, but even this, okay, even this, Joshua, I want to see the woman go just through this section. I really find it hard to believe that she could go just through this section. I could be wrong. She could be some type of like, you know, person that can kind of like fold herself in. I'm not going to discount that could be possible. But it's also very interesting that if you were just trying to break into this apartment because you locked yourself out, why this window's broken, the bottom window's broken, right? She mentioned that when she gave the press conference that this has happened before 3 times to be exact, and they've broken the window before. Maintenance comes out and replaces it for $60, and they move on with their day. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not making any determination in this case. I don't have a determination. I am just asking questions. I stated that earlier on. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. And hopefully on Tuesday, when Soonie comes back, we can get her opinion on that. But the investigation is ongoing. And yeah. So that's it. That's all I got there. All right, so let's move on to a funny topic, since the first 2 topics that we covered were kind of heavier and serious. I want to talk about this article that I saw, if I can get to it, because once again, my computer is frozen. Let's see here. If you are just joining and tuning in, please make sure to give this video a like, drop in the comments, let me know that you're watching, that you're enjoying the show. She just says, yes, you have a point, but didn't the police shoot the window? Very good point. Very good point. We don't know what was broken by the police and what wasn't. Again, I want to go back to, even if the police shot the other little panes, I want to know how she went through the other window. Okay. So this article that I read, it was a Reddit article. It was also on the Daily Mail. That's not Ben Crump, but he is her attorney. Oh, so Ben Crump has taken the case now? What? Okay. Maybe this guy's from Ben Crump's office. Okay. So the article that I read states half of women have a fallback partner on standby who has always fancied them just in case their current relationship turns sour. Okay. So it said married women are more likely to have a plan B in the background. Backup is likely to be an old friend who has always had feelings for them. Other candidate includes ex-boyfriend, husband, colleague, or gym buddy. Okay, I want to read this article and what it says. Okay. Okay, so a survey of 1,000 women also found Plan B is also likely to be someone whom she has known for around 7 years who will be ready and waiting because of unfinished business. Okay. Furthermore, around 1 in 10 women said their Plan B had already confessed their undying love to them, while 1 in 5 said they were confident he would drop everything for her if she asked him to. Slightly more than 4 in 10 said that they had gotten to know the man while they were with their partner, while a similar percentage said he was on the scene long before. So there's a little video I want to show you of the woman that was giving the interview about this and what she says about it. I'm going to pull it up right here. Gina says, yes, you have a point, but yeah, I already read that. Josh says, that's not Ben Crump. Oh, I already read that too. Cool. Okay. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my marbles. All right, let's pull this one up. Here we go.
Psychology research, I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married
Happily married women are doing this?
have a backup plan.
Person
a
they've
specific
identified.
person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes. And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Right. So I know you're here to say, though,
yes,
watch out, because this
Absolutely.
is anything but good.
It is. I agree. You know, mindset matters in relationships.
You're in a relationship.
Okay, so this particular lady was talking about married people in general. But the article that I was reading earlier covered also women who are not married, women who are just single and dating. Okay, so here is my opinion. And this, I don't know if this is traditional or what it is, right? I don't think it's traditional. Okay, I think this is probably not a common opinion. But this is what I say. If you are just dating and you're not having sex with all these people, okay, I think you should keep your options open. I think you should date other people, okay? Again, I want to preface it by saying, as long as you're not having sex with all these people, okay? If you are in a relationship and you're like, oh, I want to keep like my little side piece, my little plan B option, and you're just in a relationship, you're not married, but you're having sex with both people, I don't think that that's right. Okay. Because then that would make you a whore. Okay. However, if you're not having sex with these people, I think you should have a plan B. I think you should always be looking. It's kind of like the same concept of, even though you have a job, I feel like you should never stop looking for a better job. Right. And until a man puts a ring on your finger and marries you, in my opinion, you are single. Okay. You may be dating, you may be in a quote unquote relationship, but technically you're single. Okay. Because he has not married you. He has not asked you to be his wife, his long life partner. So I think if you're not having sex with anybody else, I keep prefacing that because I know people are going to lose their minds when I say this, but I think you should keep your options open and always say, hey, if something better comes along, or if this one starts, dropping the ball, or I just lose interest, yeah, I might have some other options in the works. Okay. Now, if you're married, no, you shouldn't have a plan B. Okay. You should have a plan B. I think you should focus on what's going on, that you have a plan B. I don't think that's right, but definitely not right to do if you are married, to have a backup plan, because I feel like if you have a backup plan, then you're already kind of like assuming that it's not going to work out. And therefore it won't work out. Right. I think you shouldn't be married if that's the case. But for sure, if you are only dating, in my mind, you're a single woman, you're a single man. This goes for both men and women. Okay. As long as you're not having sex, don't have sex with multiple people. Date, go out, have a fun relationship. Don't sleep around. Okay. You let me know what you think in the comments box, but I thought this was a funny one to kind of touch on. Just, to see what people think. Okay. All right, let me do a really quick sports update. So I saw this. I'm from Chicago, so this kind of sparked my interest. We are, even though they're not a great team. Sorry, Dave. This is a Chicago Bears household. I don't really care either way, but Dave says I'm not really from Chicago unless I support the Chicago Bears. But anyway, so the Chicago Bears have hired Jennifer King as the offensive assistant running back coach, making her the first female coach in the organization's history. Now, as soon as I read that headline to Dave, here's what she looks like. Here's Jennifer. As soon as I read that headline to Dave, he was like, "That's bullshit. They're going to put somebody that has zero football and coaching experience just because she's a woman." Okay. So, is this a good idea? I don't know, because I don't know Jennifer King. But let's read up on her, okay? And you guys let me know what you guys think, because I know that a lot of you guys are Soonie followers of Soonie, and we know how Soonie feels about, women in positions of leadership. I'm not for it all the time. I don't always think it's a good idea. But, Jennifer looks like she kind of pitches for the other team a little bit. She looks tough. And yeah, let's just read up about her and see what it says. Okay. So the Chicago Bears have hired Jennifer King as their first female coach in franchise history, working as an offensive assistant with running backs. Okay. Now, what does it say for the Bears if this girl turns the team, at least their running back, whatever she's coaching, if she turns that around and they become a better team? This could revive the women's movement. Okay. And the Bears' career. So Coach Matt Eberflus filled out his staff Wednesday by announcing the final 6 members. Chris Beatty will coach wide receivers with Chad Morton in charge of running backs. Are those ones with the cute butts? Who running backs? Who are the running backs? Are they the ones with the cute butts? The little butts? Because they have to run fast? They're skinnier, right? Anyways, Thomas Brown will be the offensive passing game coordinator. Jason Hodling, the assistant offensive line coach, and Robbie Picasso, an offensive assistant working with quarterbacks and receivers. King, 39, has climbed the coaching ranks over the past handful of seasons, breaking barriers along the way. She most recently served as the Washington Commanders assistant running backs coach, becoming the first Black woman to be a full-time coach in NFL history. She played 12 seasons as a 7-time All-American quarterback and wide receiver for the Carolina Phoenix women's tackle football team from 2006 to 2017. So see, I told Dave, I was like, she does have experience. She has coaching experience and she has playing experience. Okay, Birdman says no, they are running backs who squat over 600 pounds. I don't know, our football is different in Australia. Okay, so the running backs are the big guys? Dave, what do running backs look like? Do they have cute butts? Are they big? Oh, P was running back? That's right. All right. I personally know a running back. Shame on me. Okay. So entering the 2023 season, 9 women served as full-time coaches in the NFL. I did not even know that. Brown has 13 years of experience, including the past 4 in the NFL. He was offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers in 2023. The Pantherettes, Soonie, after working the 3 previous seasons with the Rams. Erica, Soonie had some scheduling conflicts, so it's just me today. Beatty is a former CFL player who was wide receiver coach for the Los Angeles Chargers for the past 3 seasons. He has 15 seasons of coaching experience. The 7-year veteran Morton. Anyways, we don't care. These are the guys. We're here for Jennifer. Okay, we're here for Jennifer. So that's all I really had to report on that. Is the Bears have hired their first female running back coach in NFL history. Okay, So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. There's a lot of interesting things to look out for this next football season. We have Matt Ariza, who got signed to the Chiefs after being exonerated from his rape case. And now we have Jennifer King, the first female assistant coach in NFL history. Okay, that's awesome. Good times, good times, good times. Okay, so let's talk about the Trump sneaker comment that was made on Fox News. So Raymond Aroyo, he faces some backlash, okay, on social media after recently suggesting that Donald Trump will gain support from Black voters following the recent introduction of his new sneaker. Where are they running back to? Hold on. Derrick Henry is a running back, and he is 6'3", 247 pounds. They aren't all small. Okay, yeah. No, the running backs. Okay, now I know what running backs are. Yeah, those are the cute. They are the cute ones. They're not the ones with the little butts, but they're cute. Okay. As previously reported, Donald Trump recently popped up at SneakerCon in Philly, where he introduced his Never Surrender high tops. In Arroyo's eyes, the sneaker introduction will lead to Black voter support for Trump. Arroyo said this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city. So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on levels that defy and above politics. The culture always trumps politics, and Trump understands culture like no politician I have ever seen. As you can imagine, his comments didn't sit too well with some folks, and they didn't hold back with their response. Okay. Let's see what some people are saying. Right Wing Angel says, we do love sneakers now. Stop lying in the comments. Money says, nah, everyone's going to vote for Trump because he's the better option. It's more simple than sneakers. I agree. Huey Vuitton says, Joe Biden said you ain't Black if you vote for Trump, and you'll say Trump is a racist. Give me a break. Bella Rose says, wow, just wow. The mother effing disrespect. What the fuck is people on nowadays? I just want to know. Deontay said, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't Black. Joe Biden. He did a quote from Joe Biden. Okay, so let's watch the comment from Raymond on Fox News, and then I'm going to show you a awesome video that Keisha King put together that just sums it all up. Okay, so here we go.
Sneaker thing. I was on social media last night. Very interesting as you see Black support eroding from Joe Biden. This is connecting with Black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city. So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is above politics. The culture always trumps politics.
So before we go to Keisha's video, I do want to say this, okay? I think he's wrong. I think he's wrong in a couple of points, okay? Number one, I hate that he's minimizing the Black community by saying, just sell them a pair of sneakers and they'll vote for you, okay? However, I understand where that mentality can come from, and Keisha's video is going to explain that a little bit better. But the other thing I disagree with him on is Trump is not doing anything monumental here, okay? The Democrats have been virtue signaling to the Black community by using things that are part of the culture for a long time. Okay, so Trump's not, I don't understand why they're making this like, oh, Trump really understands culture. I mean, yeah, Trump's been mentioned in hip hop rap songs, as long as I can remember. And he's been, before he was president, very popular with celebrities and those particularly in the hip hop or the culture, right, community. So, it's not like he's just like new to the community, right? They know of him. But I think more people, and honestly, I think Trump has had the support of the Black community. I know that they like to show that only Black people vote Democrat, but that's not true. I think the Black vote is a little bit more diverse than people give it credit for. Obviously, social media wants to paint it a certain way. But you're going to see Keisha's video because then that also shows the different side of the coin, right? And it should anger you even more because it's what all politicians think of the Black community. This is what they think is going to appeal to you, you know? And one has to ask this question: is it the politician's fault, or is it the fault of the community as a whole, or the internet as a whole, and how they paint certain communities to be a certain way? Before I go into that, let me just address some comments. Jacqueline said, wait, who has the big butt? The running backs. The running backs have the big butt. We just learned that today. Mad Cow says, someone is asking $450,000 for a pair of Trump gold sneakers. Wow, that's crazy. Birdman says, listen, I was a dorm manager in Japan, and when I went to their rooms, and every room that had a wall of sneakers was Black Americans. It's just a fact. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, yeah, Black folks love sneakers. They love fashion. Okay, that is not a secret. It's not a secret. We're not saying that that's not a secret. I'm just saying it's not unique to Trump, is all I'm saying. Okay, we're giving him a little too much credit. Okay, so where is did I not save the video? Okay, I did save the video. Okay, here's the video that I want you to watch.
This is connecting with Black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city.
Purpose of this is to demonstrate how much misinformation has impacted our community. Folks thinking that the stock market was better.
Okay, so this is not Keisha. This is another girl, but you're going to see Keisha react to this video.
Under Donald Trump, folks thinking that our community did better under Donald Trump. Where is that coming from, and when are we going to begin hitting back? Well, Donald Trump now goes to SneakerCon to sling sneakers because that's another way to reach Black folks in the most stereotypical way.
Connecting with Black folks in stereotypical
ways?
This
is Keisha.
No.
Straight checks, I think we got one.
It's voting season, bruh.
No voting, no love.
So you guys see what the point is here. So there, that podcast that you saw was saying, oh, Trump's trying to connect with the Black community in stereotypical ways, but the Democrats do it too.
No voting, no touch. No voting, no nothing. No voting.
Oh, snap.
How you doing?
Hi, Betty. How are you?
How are you?
I would think y'all would love this. This is what y'all do.
I thought that was a great video. My favorite part was the end where Nancy Pelosi is like kneeling at the bottom. Oh man, that's so funny. All right, last story that I'm going to cover. I think it's the last story. We'll see. Unless you guys have anything else you want me to talk about or comment on, is Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams, if you guys don't know who Wendy Williams is, she did the talk show, The Wendy Show. She was very well known in the hip hop community, in particular in New York, on her radio show way, way, way back in the day. That's when I used to listen to Wendy. And she was just known for just like roasting people, going after people, like talking about people. That's just what Wendy did. She was always about getting the tea, asking the questions that nobody was going to ask. She pissed off Whitney Houston. She pissed off Mariah Carey, Diddy. She was one of the first people to expose all the Diddy stuff that we're hearing about now. Wendy was the first one to talk about it. Anyways, she recently, and not recently, within the last year or two, had to step away from her show due to health reasons. For those of you guys that don't know, she was diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is why she has those like bulging eyeballs. That's part of the Graves' disease. And she also seemed to be suffering some mental health issues. She looked very, very thin. Wendy was always known for just like looking good all the time. And that was not the case as of late. Okay. So people have been very concerned about Wendy. and she had to be, or she was put under a conservatorship. And that's really when the concern set in. She got divorced from her husband, Kevin Hunter, who was her longtime manager. And things just started to go downhill for her. So she's coming out with a Lifetime documentary about what's been going on in her life. But she was recently diagnosed with, hold on one second. What? Fox, you tripping. Fox wants me to subscribe to read the article. But anyways, Wendy Williams was diagnosed with dementia aphasia. Okay. The talk show host came out with a statement, and she expressed immense gratitude for the love and kind words she has received, and said the response from fans has been overwhelming. Now, I believe I have a clip of this Wendy show. Let me just see if I have some more information on this. Hold on one second. So aphasia is a cruel disorder that robs one of the ability to communicate effectively, has taken its toll on Wendy Williams, affecting her speech, writing, and comprehension of language. Coupled with frontotemporal dementia, a progressive condition that alters cognitive function and behavior, Williams finds herself navigating a daunting path fraught with obstacles and uncertainties. The announcement from her care team confirmed this diagnosis after a series of medical tests she had in 2023, which sheds light on the struggles that Williams has been silently enduring. The release speaks of the difficulties she has faced, from losing words and experiencing erratic behavior to grappling with financial transactions, all of which have sparked speculation about her health in recent years. Okay. So let me just show you, if I can find it, the clip on this show, because I am going to talk about one more topic after this, you guys, the Fannie Willis stuff. Anyways, going back to Wendy, I am super intrigued. I have always loved Wendy. I've always been a fan, so I'm super excited to watch this. I want to say it comes out either this weekend or next week. Okay. So I will for sure be watching it, and then I found it. I will for sure be watching it, and then I will share with you guys all about it. All right. So check this clip out from her documentary. What is it called? What is it called? I don't know.
From 6 years old, all I wanted was to be famous.
Showtime. There's only one Wendy Williams.
The boss is walking, everybody.
Nobody can do it like Wendy. No one.
People love Wendy.
You are a star to all of us.
She was in her living room every single day for 12 years.
Yep, I guess that'll do.
And that's what people responded to, her authenticity. And then at the peak of her career, she was gone.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Waiting on you.
All right. And away we go.
Okay, so at first when I saw this, I was like, dang, she looks really good. What I did learn was this was a documentary that started while she was still kind of in her show, but then it quickly kind of took a turn because of her health. Okay, so while you see Wendy kind of looking good through some of this, it's skipping back and forth between the now and earlier times.
All I know is how to be famous. I really want to be back on television.
You're gonna be back on TV. That's easy.
My mom has done a great job making it seem like everything is okay always.
Wendy, make sure you look here. 1, 2, 3.
But in reality, there's something wrong going on.
Did you see a neurologist to find out if I'm crazy? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again.
She got put in front of a judge and given a guardian. That was when they took her away from us.
I have no money, and I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
As her family, we were all sitting on the sidelines watching, and she was crying out for help.
Did you drink this whole thing today?
Keep it there.
Okay.
Keep it there.
My mom She always talks about how she wants to work. And I feel as though she's worked enough.
She has people around who are yes people and allowing this to continue.
This is all too much.
So, fine. I have no idea where we are. This doesn't look like anything familiar.
I think she's losing memory. Have you guys noticed that?
How dare him? I control men. I weigh 133.
Anybody could look at her and tell this is not just alcohol. There's something more going on.
I miss my family.
I'll be here.
Please be here.
No matter how many times somebody may fall down, you got to lift them back up.
We all make choices in life. We all go through our challenges. She's still a person.
How you doing?
That's my sister.
There have been random people around you
Stealing money from me.
getting money, whatever the case may be.
Enough.
Can you tell me where your sister is?
No, I don't know the exact location of where she is.
I feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
My life. My life.
Right now, she's weak and vulnerable, and she needs to be around people who aren't going to take advantage of that. I have no friends. You know how many people come out to support you? You know how many people love you?
No, I don't.
Everything is really good.
I know.
I think that the guardianship system is broken. We are her family. And you tell me that I'm not capable of taking care of my sister. What would you do? What should I do?
I love being famous. But family was everything. So good to see you again, Dad.
It's good to see you, man.
Everything.
Where's Wendy Williams? So that's the name of it. So yeah, I mean, it's sad. And I know some of you guys may not be like Wendy fans, but I know that like people were so wrapped up like in the Britney conservatorship, right? And this is kind of the same thing. I know she's not like a bubbly pop star that we all used to love once upon a time. I know she's an older woman, you know, she was probably nasty to people, but I think that this is so sad. And there's something to like really be intrigued about here, because remember that Wendy exposed a lot of stuff that is just now kind of like coming to the forefront. Like Wendy was one of the first people to talk about it. She really was the pioneer when it comes to, you know, getting the scoop, you know, and Soonie and I have talked about this before, and, you know, Soonie doesn't care for her and says, well, this is kind of like what you get, you know, for being a nasty person. But I don't know, like I watch this and I think about like all the stuff that Kanye said and him talking about how Hollywood will take you down if you stop playing the game. And I want to remind everybody that around the time of COVID, okay, Wendy did a lot of commentary, and she even did an interview with was it Dr. Drew? No, it was Dr. Oz, okay, where she questioned why she should even get the you know what. She didn't want to get it. And Dr. Oz was pushing her to get it, and she didn't want to get it. So I don't know. Yeah, she was the one that spoke out on the jab. She was one of the first ones. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff. And I know that people are like, oh, she's just insignificant. But there's a lot of stuff, right, that Wendy kind of brought to the forefront that I don't think she gets enough credit for. And put aside what you think about her personally and how she talked about people. That's how she made her money. Okay. I ain't mad at her. Okay. That's how she made her money. But I just think that it's something that maybe would be interesting to watch, you know? But yeah, I'll let you guys know. Are you guys interested in this documentary? Because I am definitely interested. Okay, one more topic, okay, that I want to talk about. Let me just pull up the article really quick here. That is Fannie Willis. Okay. So Fannie Willis is the Fulton County DA that is bringing charges against Trump and for the Georgia election fraud. Okay. The Fulton County, Georgia election fraud. If you guys don't remember what that was in Fulton County, Georgia. the election office that had the mysterious water main break, and we saw the people pulling the yellow boxes from underneath the table when they supposedly shut down the voting process because of the water main break. And then all of a sudden the cameras captured them pulling out all of these bins. And right around that time is when we were all told, go to bed, it's late. Okay. We all thought Donald Trump had the election. We all went to bed, and then boom, we woke up in the morning and Joe Biden had gotten 80,000 or whatever, 80 plus 80 million votes. I'm sorry, not 80,000, 80 million votes. Okay, overnight. So Trump came out and said, election fraud, election fraud, election fraud. Something funny is going on in Fulton County, Georgia. And then Soonie and I did the story on Ruby Freeman, which you guys love when she does her Ruby Freeman impersonation. But Ruby Freeman was in charge of running that election office. And there was a whole thing there. Okay, I'm not going to go into it because that's not what this particular story is about. It's not about Ruby Freeman, but it is about the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis. Okay, now Fani Willis has been on the stand as of late because she was contracted by the Georgia Fulton County Election Commission or whatever to be the district attorney to bring charges against President Trump for what he was stating was happening in Georgia. Okay. Everything was fine until it was discovered that the guy, Nathan Wade, that Fani hired to actually prosecute Trump, okay, be the leading attorney on the case, which, by the way, he had no criminal experience, no criminal prosecution experience. She hires him to be the main guy, only to come and find out that they were in a relationship together. Now, that's a problem because you hired him to prosecute Trump. So you can't be, sleeping with him and having a full-blown relationship with him. So now they have brought Nathan and Fani and the partners that are in the firm with Nathan to testify about whether that relationship was taking place at the time she signed the contract, or sorry, he signed the contract to be the lead prosecutor. Okay. So I just wanted to, that's the best I can do, bringing you up to date on this. Okay. So the latest and greatest is we don't know what's going on because they're bringing them to trial now to see if they just are going to throw out this entire case against Trump because of this prosecutorial, if that's even the right word, misconduct, okay, between the DA, Fani Willis, and Nathan Wade, the lead prosecutor. They're deciding whether they can even go through with this trial because Fani has pretty much messed it all up, okay? She got up on the stand and she lied, saying, no, we weren't sleeping together, but the credit card records, honey, tell a different story because they went to Aruba, they went on cruises with his mama, they went to trips to wineries in California. She was at his house, he was at her house. Her roommate, or I'm sorry, her landlord that owned the house, who was also her friend and colleague, testified that they were hugging and kissing up on each other. His former partner in the firm that was also the attorney on his divorce, which P.S. he ain't divorced yet. So that means he was having an affair, took the stand and testified that they were pretty much together while he signed this contract. Okay. So it ain't looking good. But now the situation has gotten even stickier. Okay. Wade, the trial attorney Willis hired to help prosecute former President Donald Trump on state charges of election interference, allegedly visited Fani's home. Allegedly visited the DA, which is Fani, at home, occasionally arriving late at night, booty call, and staying until the wee hours, okay? Some 36 times. Now, this just piqued my interest because I was like, what? He said he took the stand and said he'd never been there. She said he ain't never been there because they said it was COVID and it wasn't a sanitary environment. That was their words, not mine, okay? Anyways, so some 36 times between April 1st, 2021 and November 30th, 2021. Okay. According to Trump's defense team, which reviewed cell phone data subpoenaed from AT&T, because yes, when you sue somebody, they have the legal right for discovery. And in the discovery, you can subpoena credit card records, you could subpoena phone records, you could talk to people. There's all kinds of stuff you could do in discovery. I'm here for the discovery. Okay, a spokesperson for Willis did not immediately respond to the Daily Beast request for comment on Friday. An 8-page affidavit filed Friday in Fulton County Superior Court by Trump's attorneys Steve Sadow and Jennifer Little allegedly reveals a minimum of 35 occasions during those months when Wade's phone connected for an extended period to the cell towers near Willis's condo in the Atlanta suburb of Hateville. In it, criminal defense investigator Charles Middlestad, if I'm saying that correctly, described his figures as conservative. You know what that means? That means that 35 is like on the low end. Okay, that means that there were more. That means that there were more, explaining that he highlighted those times when Wade's phone was stationary and not in transit, meaning he wasn't just driving by to drop off some paperwork about the case. No, he was going in there in the wee hours of the morning. Okay, we all know what that means. Fanny picked up the phone and she was like, hey, you want to come over here and keep me warm because it's COVID? I ain't been out. I'm lonely. But Miss Fanny, she testified, a man is not a backup plan. He's a companion. I don't need a man. Fanny doesn't need a man. Apparently she does. Fulton Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee will now decide whether or not to admit the phone data analysis into evidence. Now, I have been watching this trial. Okay. And Judge Scott McAfee, I don't know if they've got him threatened. Okay. I don't know if he's working for Fanny, but every time her or Nathan took the stand, he was running defense super hard for her. Okay. Like anytime they'd ask her like a hard question, he would be like, okay, that's enough. I think she's already answered that question. I don't like this judge at all. Okay. And he's going to have to come up with a really good reason not to admit this information into the case, because this is valid information. This is pertinent to why they're even looking at this to begin with, because clearly there was an inappropriate relationship going on here. Wade testified last week that he had been to Fanny's house fewer than 10 times. That's what he said. So he gave a number, and now they have paperwork to prove otherwise. Okay. He was there fewer than 10 times prior to his hiring by Willis. So basically he said, before I signed the contract to work for her and prosecute Trump, I had only been there fewer than 10 times. When Trump's attorney Steve Sadow suggested that phone records might reflect otherwise, Wade dismissed the idea out of hand. She said, they'd be wrong. They'd be wrong, she repeated herself. In his testimony, Wade said he traveled to Hateville, which is where her condo is, area for a variety of reasons, and could have been at a nearby restaurant. Nathan. He could have been at a nearby restaurant. He could have been at the airport, Delta Airlines headquarters, or the Porsche Experience Center. At those hours, I can understand maybe the airport, but in the late hours to the wee hours, I don't know. He also said he never spent a night at Willis's condo. That's not what her friend said. For her part, said on the stand that the only person to ever stay overnight at the residence with her was her daughters. The Trump team is trying to get Willis removed from the case, claiming her hiring of her purported boyfriend is disqualifying under an ethics guideline. Willis and Wade, however, have both testified under oath that they didn't start dating until 2022. If this chronology turns out to be untrue, the pair could each face allegations of perjury. Experts have warned against relying too heavily on circumstantial evidence generated by cell phone tracking data. Middlestad, who regularly appears on Court TV, Investigation Discovery, and other cable shows, said in the affidavit that he tallied over 2,000 voice calls and just under 12,000 interactions between Willis and Wade during an 11-month period in 2021, with a prevalence of calls being made in the late evening hours. Because of the sheer volume of data involved, Middlestad said in the affidavit that he was directed to conduct a deeper analysis on 2 specific dates, September 11th through 12th of 2021. Before I understand, Mr. Wade was hired, and November 29th through the 30th, prior to what I understand was in the court testimony that the romantic relationship began. Okay. On November 29th, Wade's phone pinged off the towers nearest to his residence until it received a call from Willis at 11:32 p.m. That's booty call hours. I'm sorry, but that's booty call hours. After which the device traveled from East Cobb. He got in his car, honey. He drove fast to the immediate vicinity of Willis's condo, arriving at 12:43 a.m. on November 30th and staying there until 4:55 a.m. So you got a call from Fanny at 11:32, got in your car immediately, arrived at 12:43, and you gave it to her until 4:55 a.m. when you said, I got to go. Okay. The relationship between the two was exposed by Robin Yerdy, which is the friend of Fanny and also the owner of the condo she was renting. Okay. A former friend testified she believed Willis and Wade began dating in 2019. Yerdy owned the condo that Willis lived in the wake of threats and protests outside her house in South Fulton. Okay. There's an editor note here that the story has been updated after Trump's legal team filed a corrected affidavit stating that Willis and Wade had 12,000 interactions over 11 months. So, you guys, I don't know when we're supposed to hear what's going to come of this, but I'm telling you right now, not only does this case need to be removed from Fanny, removed from Nathan, and removed from the Fulton County office, but it just needs to be dropped altogether. I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to take this case. But nonetheless, it is very, very clear if you watch all the testimony that there is funny business going on here. And it's just, it's just another win for Trump. I mean, people are just messy. I'm sorry. But if I were Fanny and Nathan and I signed a contract to bring charges of election interference against a president that you hate, you better make sure your ship is as tight as can be. Okay. You better be on your P's and Q's. Like, this is the big moment. Okay. This is the big game. And you got sloppy because you needed some D in the middle of the night. You thought you were going to be protected. That's what I think. You thought you were going to be protected, but y'all didn't realize how it really works. It's clear that Fanny is not really a great attorney, and it's clear that Nathan is not a really great attorney. They should have studied the law a little harder because they're getting themselves into a world of trouble. Okay, so I will update you. I don't know when they're supposed to make a decision on this. But hopefully it'll be soon, because meanwhile, the taxpayers are just shoveling out tons of money for this to continue. In addition, I personally think that Fanny and Nathan need to be subjected to an audit by the IRS. I think they both need to lose their jobs. Fanny needs to lose her job with Fulton County. Nathan, I don't know what his job is, if he's still practicing. I know his partners have left him high and dry because of some other falling outs that they've had. But I don't know what he's doing. If anybody's doing business with them, I think they need to stop. I also think that every single case that Fannie Willis tried when she was an attorney for Fulton County needs to be brought back up for review. Okay? Because she's messy. Who knows what she was doing when she was supposed to be researching these cases? She's messy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging in with me tonight. I cannot believe I did almost a 2-hour show tonight. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the topics. Soonie will be back on Tuesday, and we will definitely revisit the shooting in Houston, Texas that I talked about earlier, because I know she wants to give her thoughts on that, and hopefully we'll have more information. But I so appreciate you guys spending your Friday night with me. I had fun. I'm glad I came on here. Even if it was by myself, you guys got a little bit of crime. You guys got a little bit of politics. You even got a little bit of sports. It was good. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. And you know what? I'm going to be really professional with this because I need to roll out of here just like Soonie does. And yeah. So I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, come back for another show on Tuesday, and come back for another show on Friday. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Patriotic summer, high school margaritas just to cool you off. But it's so hot, these clothes are falling off. Patriotic